Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to Racing Action on a Friday night from Grand River Raceway. It is a somewhat warmish but dry Friday evening. Track is listed as fast, and the announcer is listed as slow. The temperature will be recorded as 26 degrees Celsius. Let's get right to the changes on this fine Friday night. No changes race number 1. No changes in the first race. The second race, number 3, Transcendence. Pat Houdon will drive. Pat Houdon drives 3 Transcendence. 4 Big Diamond, the driver is going to be Bruce Richardson. Bruce Richardson drives the 4 Big Diamond. Scratched is number 5, Cocoa Beach DeVee. Races 3 and 4, no changes. No changes. Races 3 and 4. Which means there is a change in race number 5. The fifth race, number 1, Bet on Beach, a bridle change open to blinkers. Open bridle to blinkers on number 1, Bet on Beach. The sixth race, number 5, Red Hot Torch. The driver will be Ryan DeRoche. Race 6, number 5, Red Hot Torch, Ryan DeRoche. And the seventh race, number 7, Monster Mash, has a shoe change. Steel to flip-flops up front. That's steel to flip-flops up front. That is number 7, Monster Mash in the 7th. Race number 8, number 3, Press Time, is a bridle change, blind bridle to blinkers. Blind to blinkers on number 3, Press Time in the 8th. The ninth race, number 5, Our Thinking Monster, is scratched. Race 9, scratch 5, Our Thinking Monster. And the 10th race scratched is number 1, Go Daddy Go, will not go. And number 7, Art of Fire, has a missing line. I didn't fall for it this time. August the 17th. The other day I said finished 17 lengths, 8th, finished 17th. I didn't fall for it. Finished a winner. Art of Fire, winner Gagnon in 154 and 4. Art of Fire in the 10th. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Well, race number 1 will go as programmed, but race number 2, scratched is 5, Cocoa Beach DeVee. Pat Houdon will drive 3, Transcendence, and Bruce Richardson drives the 4, Big Diamond. It is now 16 minutes to post time and time to welcome in our co-host and handicapping guru, Robert Reed Jr. Robert, the track listed as fast, the announcer listed as slow, but our handicapper is listed as sharp. How are you doing? And by the way, I have a question, too. I want to ask you what you're going to look.
Sure.
She can put you up on the screen. I don't mind looking at you for about 5 seconds worth. Listen, the question is, what are you going to watch this weekend? Okay, take them off the screen. 5 seconds is long enough. No, seriously, what are you going to watch this weekend in terms of harness racing?
Well, I won't just be watching from home, Gary. It's a busy weekend in harness racing and horse racing as a whole here in Ontario. So, of course, we've got this great card of racing tonight here at Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario. But tomorrow, I'll actually be filling in on the desk at Mohawk Park. Chad and Monique are both prepping for the big day on Sunday, the Queen's Plate on the thoroughbred side. So yours truly will be holding down the fort tomorrow night at Mohawk Park. The Glamour Boys of the OSS are going to be racing. Can't wait for that one. Bulldog Hanover, see if he continues his dominance, or maybe a second bruiser can get the job done there tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be alongside Greg Blanchard for COSA TV at Georgian Downs for the Honorable Earl Rowe Trot. And also, there's an incredible 4-year-old Open on that card as well at Georgian on Sunday. So I'll see you over at Georgian on Sunday nights. And it's just a jam packed weekend. And of course, the Queen's Plate on Sunday in the afternoon. You really couldn't ask for anything more if you are a harness racing fan or a horse racing fan as a whole in this province and really the country and beyond, because just incredible racing all weekend long. But it all gets started tonight, folks. In well, what do we got here? About 14 minutes, 6:30. We're going to go forward with our opener. We got 10 races for you on this fantastic Friday. We're going to try to get your weekend kicked off on the right foot. And of course, our first big wager of the night always happens in our opener. It's the guaranteed $2,500 pick five. And Gary and I have some tickets mapped out for you, and mine tonight might surprise you because I'm spending a lot less than I usually do, but we'll show you those in just a few moments. All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at that pick five wager. We've seen some incredible payouts. Of course, last Wednesday, just a few nights ago, we saw an incredible pool of just less than $30,000 of new money when we had a carryover. But tonight will still be a decent pool when we start fresh. Gary and I have mapped out some tickets for you. The guaranteed pool is $2,500. Let's take a look at what I have in store tonight. And I'm being a little bit frugal this time around. I usually spend a lot more, but I decided, you know what, I better just try to get it thin tonight because I think that it might be a formful sequence, at least early on. So I'm going to go too deep in the opening leg with number 2, Moonlight Beach, and number 5, Stiletto Blue Chip. And actually, Stiletto Blue Chip is the one that I do actually really like in that opener. So too deep there. Then in the second leg, I'm going to go too deep again with the 2, Land of Paradise, and the 6, Woodmere Roll Lily. The 6 is my top selection, will likely be the favorite. So 2 by 2 to start. Then we're going to get really thin. A couple of keys. Race number 3, number 5, Brightside Melvin. Easy winner in the class last time. I think he comes right back to win again after that solid victory last time. And then in race 4, we're going right back to Party in the Shadows, who just crushed this group 1 week ago. Very determined effort on the front end. Some more challenging rivals in there this time around maybe, but I'm going to stick with Party in the Shadows as a single, and then we're going to spread out. When the rookies come to play, I like to spread out because you never know what happens sometimes in those 2-year-old races. So I'm going to use a pile of them in the money leg. Gary's going to say I didn't do my homework on it and just decided to use a bunch of them, but I actually did look at this race. I think there could be a price. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Going 6 deep in that one. I just added the 1, Bet on Beach, based on the equipment change of open to blinkers. My top selection is the 5, West is Best, but off of Vet Scratch Sick will be the favorite. I don't want to be married to that one. That is for sure. My ticket, even with that coverage at the end, is just $4.80. But let's see what Gary has in store for us on this Friday night.
Well, we'll look at my ticket. And by the way, lovely job of handicapping the 5th race. Let's start off here in the first race, and we see this the same. I do agree with Stiletto Blue Chip being the one to beat in here. So we have it the same. We both have the 2 and the 5. And the second race, we're seeing this one again the same. 6, Woodmere Roll Lily, and 2, Land of Paradise. Those are the 2 that we're using there. So we're similar in both of the first 2 races. The third race, you went along with Brightside Melvin, but I added one, not because I think Brightside Melvin won't win, but I'm trying to catch a price by seeing if one of these 2 horses that you keyed could maybe not get the job done. So number 2, Hello You, is the one that I put on the ticket. That was your second choice. I saw your picks now at 6 o'clock. And we should mention, we don't see each other's picks. I do mine the night before, sitting on the couch and with a couple of Coors Light and looking over the program. Race number 4, and number 2, Party in the Shadows, is the one that you keyed on. I added the 4 first glance, and in the 5th race, well, I only broadened out to 3 horses, but I do think you're right to broaden out. I just have the 2, 3, and the 5 in that one. I do think West is best. And actually that's a misprint. I do actually have the 2, 3, and 5, not the 9. So 3, 5, and 2 is the way that I'm handicapping that race. So 2, 3, 5. So we're similar there, but you broadened out a little bit more. I spent 9. I did in that. There, look how quick Christine changes things. $9.60. I spent a little bit more, and that's my look at the pick 5.
So Gary's going to spend more tonight, but I know Gary's going to want to know this. We have 12 chances tonight, 12 combinations where we can both be a winner. And, of course, I'm cheering for that, not just because it's Friday and I want Gary to have some money for the weekend, but because I'm a team player, and that's what I do. But let's look at the first race, folks. Here we go. Fillies and Mares Claimers, $15,000 for non-winners of $20,000 life. And, well, Gary and I guess we're in agreement on this one with number 5, Stiletto Blue Chip. Right now, 5-2 on the board, bet down from the 8-1 morning line. And I understand on the morning line. I actually was hoping this one would be a bigger price because if you go back to that last effort here, something certainly went amiss because got to the front 26-4, 55-3, and then ended up finishing distanced to the field. Now, again, those fractions are obviously extremely fast for the class, and she would have been tired, but there must have been more to it. But you'd have to think that all was well in her world because she came right back to qualify qualify just 8 days later at Georgian Downs with a nice qualifier too. She won by 8.5 lengths in 58-2, did it easy. So I would think Stiletto Blue Chip is good to go again, and those problems are likely behind her. And from post 5, you would say, well, it's a difficult post here, but not for her. I mean, from post 5 last time, she had almost 2 lengths on them at the quarter pole. So I think she's going to blast right out of there again, and she might be tough to beat if she can get some reasonable fractions, and J.R. Plant can right her on the front end. In for second, Moonlight Beach. I think she is the obvious main threat here because you look, a win 2 starts back and a second place finish last time from the trailing post. She can leave off the gate too, and she should be spotted pretty well. I would think maybe a 2-hole trip for that one. Number 6, Keep Watching, went 2 tough trips in each of her last 2. 8-1 on the board, some good value on that one, but how does the trip work out is the big question. And number 7, Dandy Idea, is always there somehow. Hit the board 9 out of 13 this year, so you've got to have Dandy Idea somewhere on your ticket. But I see the Fillies and Mares are moving out onto the track for the opener. We'll come back and talk about more with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for race number 1 is on parade. 1 Sporty, Aaron Byron for Joe Pereira. Number 2 is Moonlight Beach. Brad Madonna for Jim Kerr and Jim Morrissey and Lorna Davis. Number 3, Sexy Sport. Colin Keller for Kyle Bostons and Brad Gray. And number 4 is Ride Down Lilibet. Nick Boyd for Kendall Ron and Brighton Farms. Number 5 is Keep Watching. Number 6 is Keep Watching. Nick Stewart for Clifford McGuire. There is 5 Stiletto Blue Chip. J.R. Plant for Mike Timpano and Wendy Warren, Timpano and Frank Tucci and Seaspray Stables. Number 6, Keep Watching. Nick Stewart for Clifford McGuire. And number 7 is Dandy Idea. Travis Henry for Bob McIntosh and Al McIntosh. And number 8 is Larjan Lena. Ryan DeRoche for Mark Winnicott and Jim Maximo Racing. And number 9 is Shadow 1, Lauren House for Scott McNiven and Thomas Broadhurst and Bradley McNiven. Field of 9, race number 1. Let's get a look at this field, and certainly we have to start with number 5, Stiletto Blue Chip. 4 wins and 8 starts on the year. Races for a fine barn of that of Mike Timpano. We'll bring in T.P. Reed here for his comments on number 5, Stiletto Blue Chip. Certainly qualified very sharply and has the gate speed. Stiletto Blue Chip probably marching those heels up pretty quickly to head to the front, right?
I would think so, definitely. Up to 5-2 now, so maybe we're going to get a better price than it looked earlier, Gary. I just thought, she left us so easily last time. Something obviously went amiss, but if you go back to those 2 efforts before that at Georgian Downs, she went big-time fraction, stuck around for 3rd, and then was a winner the start before that. So I think that this class matches up well against those ones, and just have to maybe cross that last one off and hope that she's good to go. She's good on the track right now. She zooms out of there, gets to the lead, and can somehow get rated on the front end. She might be tough to beat.
I'm really shocked at the money right now. Number 2, Moonlight Beach, 1-2 on the board. And just as I mentioned, how shocked I am, drops further. Now, it is understandable that Moonlight Beach would get some action, but I thought, and we have kind of agreed that this one might be second best in here. Certainly could be the trip horse, though, and likely to possibly leave out well enough. You do see some 27 and change quarters. Could Moonlight Beach actually fend off Stiletto Blue Chip and hold on to that inside advantage lead?
I don't know if she's going to want to, because it might take some serious fractions to do that. Sexy Sport, actually, the 3-horse might also try to throw her hat in the ring off the gate as well. But I don't think anyone can hold out Stiletto Blue Chip. So Moonlight Beach with the inside advantage should be able to cross over in front of Sporty, and I would think will be more than happy to let Stiletto Blue Chip go. If not, if that filly does want the lead, then Moonlight Beach is going to have to go pretty quick early on to hold her out there. So I think Moonlight Beach's most likely scenario is to sit the 2-hole. and maybe that will work out for her. But 4-5 on the board right now, I would prefer the 3-1 on Stiletto Blue Chip.
Well, it certainly could get interesting early if things went that way. Number 6, Keep Watching, is now these two that we're going to mention towards the outside. They would love to see the 2 and 5 kind of get after it, especially, and also 3, Sexy Sport. They'd love to see some action. Keep Watching is one that can race well from off the pace. You see that 2 races to go second, beaten a neck to Little Mary, and was almost 10 back at the quarter.
I was actually just going to say that, if that speed does kind of hook up front, then you're right. Keep Watching could be the horse because this one's got a couple of real difficult trips. First over, made the lead, then got beat by a neck 2 back. Last time ended up first over a long way and didn't really embarrass herself, right? She only got beat just under 3 lengths on the wire in fourth. So I think the Keep Watching is one that is the value right now on the board at 13-1. I don't have her in my pick 5, but I certainly would have her in my exotics.
And number 7, Dandy Idea, is one that's been racing well and did race from post 7 here to finish third to Moonlight Beach, beaten a length and 3/4, just 3 starts back.
Yeah, and now the poor post luck comes back for Dandy Idea. We saw this one drawing outside frequently, then finally got a pair of rails where she finished fourth, beating only half a length, then got beat a neck. Now she's back to the 7-hole. If there's a big speed battle up front, it might be a good thing, though, because I do see her getting into it late and getting a piece of it. And if they ever hook up front, maybe she goes by them all at right now, priced at 9-2.
Number 3, Sexy Sports, 16-1. Colin Kelly and Kyle Boston's quickly. This could be interesting. That's a bit of a value play if you want to take a shot there.
I think so. 2 starts back July 3rd. I watched this one at Hanover. She absolutely blew the field away. That was a non-winners of 2,500 life. Thing to keep in mind right now, though, first time in a condition claimer. So, this might match up pretty well against a group like that, or at least who she faced last time. She is pretty good value right now at 15-1.
Well, the first race right now, number 2, Moonlight Beach, is still holding on to favorite status at 7-5, taking position Sporty Moonlight Beach and Sexy Sport to the inside. In the center, Bright Out a little bit and Stiletto Blue Chip to the outside. Keep Watching, Dandy Idea, Larjan Lena, and the second tier, Shadow One. It's a field of 9, race number 1, first of 10 dashes on a Friday night at the river, and they're at the start of the rough, and Moonlight Beach is going to fire out. Stiletto Blue Chip to the outside, Sexy Sport, Bright down a little bit, and Sporty down to the inside. Moonlight Beach with that inside advantage. Stiletto Blue Chip is still driving on the outside, and Stiletto Blue Chip now is going to press on the outside, and Moonlight Beach and Brett McDonald let Stiletto Blue Chip grab the front. Moonlight Beach is racing second, and right now is about 2 1/4 back. Sexy Sport third, then Sporty, then Dandy Idea. Bright out a little bit is racing sixth, then it is back further to Shadow One. Keep Watching is second for last, and Larjan Lena is trailing the field. Stiletto Blue Chip at 2-1 has the lead right now. The advantage is about 2 1/4. Moonlight Beach second. Sexy Sport is racing third, and then position fourth is Sporty as they race their way off the turn. And the field comes on towards us. And then racing fifth is Dandy Idea. Well back, Bright down a little bit, and further on the inside, Shadow One, and to the outside, Keep Watching, and then well back, Larjan Lena. 55-3. That's a sharp half for this class, and it is Stiletto Blue Chip, who is still moving very well on top, and leads by about 4. Moonlight Beach is second, Sexy Sport is third, and then Sporty is racing fourth, and Dandy Idea is now going to take a peek out there, 3 wide, and it is Bright down a little bit, and Keep Watching, and Shadow One, Stiletto Blue Chip. Now that lead is shrinking a bit. It's down to just a couple of lengths, 3/4 in 125. Moonlight Beach is starting to threaten and is a length and a half back. And here comes Keep Watching now, and is moving, and also coming is Dandy Idea, then Sexy Sport. It is Stiletto Blue Chip, still with plenty of work to do. 3/4 in 125. Moonlight Beach, and on the outside, Keep Watching, and down to the inside, Dandy Idea. They're ganging up on Stiletto Blue Chip, and up the inside, Dandy Idea to the outside. Here comes Keep Watching. Keep Watching comes on by. Moonlight Beach was second. 3 across the track for third between Shadow One, Stiletto Blue Chip, and Dandy Idea. 157-2. Keep Watching goes off the board at 10-1. And well, Rob, we talked about if the speed was enough, maybe Keep Watching from off the pace, and that's what you saw.
Yeah, definitely. We noted the value on this one too, at 10 to 1. I thought that the two value horses were number 6, Keep Watching, at 10 to 1, and maybe the 3, Sexy Sport, at 22 to 1. She just wasn't able to handle this group, Sexy Sport. But Keep Watching came around them there, and the big thing with this one was two really difficult trips in each of her last two, and this time she gets to make one big run at them. And what a difference that was for her. I mean, the race came home in 32-2, and when that happens, you'd have to think that one's going to get them from off the pace, and Keep Watching did it in a real nice price at 10 to 1.
Of course, one of the problems maybe with a horse like Stiletto Bluch and post position 5 is if you're going to fire up a horse that hard to get to the front from post 5, then how do you get the filly to come back to you? And GR Plot, a half of 55-3, didn't get her to come back to him enough to be able to keep on going.
Yeah, her one win at Georgian Downs, she got the half and 56 and change. And when I saw the same half that she went last time, she looked a lot better tonight, and she certainly fought on to finish third, as opposed to what happened last time. But I thought we were in trouble at the half and 55-3. I was hoping that Moonlight Beach might be able to still, get the job done for us. But in the last turn, you could see that she was even laboring just to try to get up alongside that one, because following in behind those fractions takes a lot out of her too. And of course, Keep Watching ends up getting there at 10 to 1, and Dandy Idea gets on the ticket as well at 7-2. So I've ended up having the super in my selections just scrambled in the wrong order.
Well, and a pick 5 player, if you happen to have 6 on top in the first race, you're liking a 10 to 1 to kick off the pick 5. Rolling back in front of us is number 6, Keep Watching. A 4-year-old, he's watching. Brown mare, owned and trained by Clifford McGuire, and Nick Stewart is the winning driver. It's the 4th win this year, 4th lifetime. Keep Watching. 157-2. The first race payouts, number 6, Keep Watching, 22-20, 720 and 420. Number 2, Moonlight Beach, $3 to 40, and 5 Stiletto Blue Chip, $3.40. $2 exactor, $64. Dollar try, $137.55. Dollar superfected, $394.40. The first race order finish from the tops at 928 731 465. That's 928 731 465.
All right, folks. Well, decided to be frugal tonight in my pick five ticket, and it didn't work out. I went too deep. My third choice wins. I guess that's just the way she goes sometimes. Hopefully, you're still alive, though, on your tickets, and good luck moving forward. Let's move on to race number 2. We've got condition claimers. Price tag is $15,000. Fillies and mares on the pace. The condition is now winners of $40,000 lifetime. And I'm going to number 6, Woodmere Roll Lily, who now gets post 5 with the scratch of Cocoa Beach to V. I think that's obviously going to help her chances a little bit, but she might not even need that with the outside draw because she's been racing so well in this class ever since getting claimed by Richard Moreau. Finished second, beating her nose, 4 starts back at Georgian Downs, then third, the start after that, and then here at Grand River, third place finish and a second place finish, just Something Royal, who's her stablemate, who's been racing just unbelievable since being claimed for the same camp. So Woodmere Roll Lily now gets away from that rival and should be the boss of the class, I would certainly think anyways. And I really like her chances in here. And the price right now, don't have the odds up right now for some reason. The price on her right now is 5-2, and that's a pretty solid number. That's a pretty solid number right now on Woodmere Roll Lily. I think she has the best chance to emerge victorious in the second race tonight. And for second, number 2, Land of Paradise. I think this is the trip horse in the race. She does really well when she can get away from an inside post and get a favorable trip. And last time, I didn't really like her so much because she had post 4, and I figured she'd get a difficult trip, and that's exactly what happened. She ended up going overland and then finishing 4th. But now returning to the inside post, she'll probably flash early speed. She might end up either getting to the early lead or sitting a 2-hole trip, and that makes her dangerous. So Land of Paradise is one that you have to keep in mind. But for me, 9-5 versus 2-1, or even if they're the same price, I would lean towards Woodmere Roll Lily as my top pick. But Land of Paradise is clearly my second choice in the race. Then in for third, number 1, Century Gianna. Pole position, has early speed, won from this same post and an open $8,500 claimer back on July the 7th. She's one you have to respect on the ticket. I just don't know if she can go with the likes of number 6, Woodmere Roll Lily, but might be able to challenge to land on the bottom end of the exacta and the trifecta. Then number 4, Big Diamond. Last time ended up going first over. Way too taxing of a trip for this one. Ended up fading back to 8th and kind of falling a little bit off form lately, but don't sleep on this one because if you go further down the page, you'll see her racing very well at this level. A win in a similar race and hitting the board and has hit the board in 9 of 18 this year. So Big Diamond's one you have to look at. Number 3, Transcendence to round out the field. Improved effort last time to finish third on August the 13th at 22-1. And I think Gary Kingshot's horses are moving in the right direction. So another one you might want to consider as well. But that kind of covers them all, doesn't it? All right, folks. We'll come back in just a few moments to talk about more with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the second on Parade 1, Century Gianna, J.R. Black for Mike Timpano and Wendy Warren Timpano at Seaspray Stables and Princeton Farms. Number 2 is Land of Paradise, Travis Henry for Scott McNiven and Thomas Broadhurst and Bradley McNiven and Shirley Griffin. Number 3 is Transcendence, Pat Hudon for Gary Kingshot. Number 4, Big Diamond, it's Bruce Richardson for Isabel Darvaux. And 5 is Scratched, and number 6 is Whitmere Row Lily, Brett McDonough for Richard Moore and Norman Beausoleil. Field of 5, race number 2, the second leg of the pick 5. And Rob, isn't that way it goes this night? You thought you might want to spend a little less on the pick 5 because it might be a little chalky, and you start off with a 10-1 horse in that first leg of it.
It's one of those ones where I'm always spending so much money. Oh, you know what? I'll go cheap tonight. Save some money for the weekend. And bust out in the first leg. Unbelievable.
Sad, sad story. Well, let's take a look at this second dash, and we've got number 6, Whitmere Row Lily. Now, this is one that has been really good all year, and even if you look at that last race, also one of the main reasons why Whitmere Row Lily wouldn't have gotten by Something Royal. Now, it wouldn't really matter. I think Something Royal is just the better of the two, but also sat in the pocket, and they went a 58 1/2, so it's awfully tough to close off of that. And still did put up a 56 4 back half.
Yeah, and 28-1 last quarter too. And Whitmere Row Lily has done nothing wrong since joining the Moreau barn. Hit the board in all 4 efforts, and look who she's got beat by: Erica Shadow, Salzbrook Raven, and Something Royal. You don't see anyone of that ilk in here tonight, and I'm not surprised now that Whitmere Row Lily is now taking the bulk of the support down to 6-5. I think she deserves it and merits being the favorite come post time.
Now, the one thing with Land of Paradise, the one that we think is the main threat in here, only 1 win on the year, 8 out of 15 in the top 3. But if you take a look at the last 3 times this one had an inside 3 post, you see a win by a neck, second by a neck, second length and a quarter, and a third by a neck. So Land of Paradise has landed in a good spot. Maybe 5-2 is a little low to go against Whitmere Row Lily, but I wouldn't be shocked if Land of Paradise could win.
No, I wouldn't be either, because I think she is definitely the trip horse in here from post 2, and that's her scene, right? She does the best when she gets that favorable trip, and she can either cut it out or sit along the pylons and attack them late. And I think that we're going to see that from her tonight. I think she will get that trip of the race. I don't know if she can beat Whitmere Row Lily, but I think she is the logical one to use underneath.
Number 1, Century Gianna, J.R. Plot, 4-1 on the board, and one that was good in the first couple starts for Mike Timpano, and also was one that flashed gate speed in the first couple. The last 3 not as good, although at least the third one back, not bad, 56 2 mile. But look, Mike Timpano is having a fine campaign. Sports a 400-plus training average. J.R. Plot on the inside. Century Gianna just might be firing and could maybe bounce back and be a big player.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. That open $8,500 claimer is actually pretty comparable to this group, I would think. And, I think that the rail is the key with this one. She might be able to blast out of there either with the lead or sit a trip. But, taking a lot of support tonight right now at 3-1. I was looking at this one as maybe a price play possibility when I tinkered with the idea of putting her in my pick 5. 3-1 for me would be too short, but you got to respect the opportunity that she has tonight from the pole position.
Well, the fans look at this as a fairly wide open dash, and another one that's taking a little more action than I thought is number 4, Big Diamond, Bruce Richardson driving. Now, look, Big Diamond was very good a little while back. That last race, first up and finished 8th, but still, Big Diamond is one that could bounce back. I don't like 9-2, but I do know that Big Diamond's been good in the past.
Yeah, that's the one thing. You go down further down in the form, and if she can return to that form, she has a chance to win in here. Let alone land on the ticket. We haven't seen it from her lately, so I would need a bigger price than the 5-1 to take a shot on the win end. But Big Diamond is one that it can certainly get a piece of it in here, and when she gets back on form, will be a competitor.
The only other one, then, we might as well just touch on quickly is number 3, Transcendence, Pat Hudon. The last race was better. Maybe it could build off of that, but Transcendence is the one that's getting the least action. 7-1, there's Hurricane Hudon.
Yeah, Transcendence was a lot better last time, and I think that the Gary Kingshot horses as a whole have been trending in the right direction, so I wouldn't fault anyone for using this one in their tickets at 7-1.
Well, it is a field of five after the scratch of five. Cocoa Beach to V. Number 6, Woodmere Roll Lily is the 6-5 betting favorite. We'll see how it unfolds. Century Gianna, Land of Paradise on the inside. In the center, Transcendence, and on the outside, Big Diamond and Woodmere Roll Lily. It's a field of five for the second race. Here they come. Field for the second race is at the start of the rough. Big Diamond is making a big early move. Century Gianna, Land of Paradise along to the inside. Then Transcendence and Woodmere Roll Lily is relaxed away, trailing the field. It's Century Gianna and JR Plot who's got the lead. Big Diamond continues to drive, and Land of Paradise is on the inside, racing third. Then it is back to Transcendence, and Woodmere Roll Lily watches things from a trailing spot. Century Gianna and JR Plot was able to drive on, and now wanting to squeeze into the pocket, and doing so was Big Diamond. Land of Paradise is now third, 3 off the lead. Then Transcendence is racing fourth, and Woodmere Roll Lily is positioned fifth. 27-2 the opening quarter. Century Gianna and JR Plotted 7-2. Big Diamond in the pocket. Here comes Land of Paradise now. Is going to have to move first over as they race off the turn. And then it is Transcendence on the inside, and Woodmere Roll Lily is moving up now quickly and is second over, and now is coming on and is only about 2.5 off, maybe 2 off the lead now. 57-3 is the halftime. They work their way on into the backstretch, and Century Gianna on the outside. Land of Paradise has moved up, taking over second. Big Diamond is sitting in the pocket, and Woodmere Roll Lily is still there, second over, inching forward and looming as the even money favorite, and then Transcendence. But Century Gianna is still driving well, and it is Century Gianna. JR Plot gets a little urge there. Land of Paradise is still on the outside, and now it is going to be Woodmere Roll Lily, who's going to pull out 3 wide as Brett McDonald pulls the trigger on Woodmere Roll Lily and is quickly surging up on the outside. 3/4, 127-1. Century Gianna, Land of Paradise is still on the hunt. Woodmere Roll Lily, then Transcendence, and looking down to the inside is Big Diamond. On down the lane, they're all in it. It is Century and Gianna trying to hold on. Woodmere Roll Lily on the outside. Woodmere Roll Lily comes on by. Then second is between Land of Paradise and Century Gianna. But it was Woodmere Roll Lily off that second over trip who had enough when it was time to go, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. A nice closing effort from Woodmere Roll Lily. I thought she was the class of the group and the best one in there, and I think she proved it because Century Gianna did a lot of work on the front end, 27-2, and then had Land of Paradise up at her outside. But the half was in 59-4, or so middle half, sorry, was 59-4, and Woodmere Roll Lily was still able to kind of cruise past him in the stretch, and I was actually impressed. Land of Paradise looked like she was all done it a few times there throughout that mile, and I thought she might fade off the ticket, but she showed a lot of determination there. For a horse that usually needs a trip that's favorable to get a big piece of it, she really came on there and looks like she grabbed the runner-up spot and got past the leader right at the wire.
Yeah, it might have messed up Travis's plans when Big Diamond also left along with Century Gianna on the inside, so he gets stuck getting away third, and you know what that usually means, and wound up first over. But Land of Paradise, that's impressive. One to watch again for next time because it showed a lot more toughness there.
No, definitely. I think that he wanted to have that 2-hole spot, and then Century Gianna was going so quick on the front end, opened up a gap there that actually let Big Diamond drop into the 2-hole, which then forced Land of Paradise to be the first over attacker. The whole race would have been different if Land of Paradise was able to keep that 2-hole closed there. But the way it ended up turning out, the favorite players can rejoice, and so can I, getting one of my top selections down on the card, Gary.
There is number 6, Woodmere Roll Lily, and Brett McDonald timing the pole from the second over trip nicely. And Woodmere Roll Lily is a 4-year-old Roll With It Harry Bay mare, owned by Norman Beausoleil. Richard Moreau is the trainer, and Brett McDonald the winning driver. 5th win this year, 8th lifetime. Woodmere Roll Lily, 157-2. The second race payouts, number 6, Woodmere Roll Lily, 410. $3 and 210 to Land of Paradise, 280, 210. 1 Century Gianna, 250. $2 exact or 810. The dollar try, 1165. The dollar super, 1960. And the double of 6 and 6, $63. The second race over finish from the top is a 3-2-5. 4 scratch 1. That's 3-2-5. 4 scratch 1. Fans noted race 7, number 9, Ranger Rob. The driver will be GR Plot. Race 7-9, Ranger Rob, GR Plot.
All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at race number 3. It's the start of our early pick 4. So if you're like Gary and I and you're already out of that pick 5, start mapping out your winning wagers for the early pick 4 for as low as 20 cents. We've got Horse and Geldings non-winners of 5,000 life on the pace. And well, I am going where the odds board is also screaming at us right now. Number 5, Brightside Melvin. If you did not see his last race, well, he raced fantastic. He got away 5th off the gate, moved first over, and just cruised up before demolishing his rivals by more than 5 lengths and was under no urging at the wire. Very easy victory from Brightside Melvin. And 2 starts back, he probably would have been a winner as well at 55-1 if he didn't get interfered with on the last turn. The interference came from behind when there was a few horses that all came together. It cost him a few lengths, and then he ended up surging late. So it shows that, you know, he's a length and 3/4 out of it, then a length and a quarter out of it at the finish. He was actually pulled quite a ways out of it before coming back on again. So it was ultra impressive. I loved him last time at 4-1. I don't think that he gets beat tonight at a short price this time around at even money. In for second, I went to number 1, Written in Stone. Right now, 10-1 on the board. I've been chasing this one, and without any success to this point. 2 starts back, Scott Coulter jumped aboard from the pole position, suffered interference around the last turn. Last time got away 7th off the gate from post 5 when Travis Henry drove, and now here we are again tonight with Travis Henry with a better post, though, the pole position. So I think that Written in Stone is one that can hit the ticket and might have a good chance to land, somewhere underneath to pick up a big share of it at a price right now at 10-1. Just like what I've seen from this one, and think that there's a chance for some big improvement there. Number 2, Hello You, 19-1 on the board right now. I know Gary's fond of this one as well in his second selection. Went to the lead last time from the rail and, held it, a long way before finishing 4th, beating 5 1/4 lengths. And Andrzej Goy has been doing pretty well with this one. 2 starts for that conditioner so far. In Clinton on August the 1st, ended up finishing second place 3rd after going a long way in the lead from post 7. Last time, went a long way in the lead here from an inside post and gets another inside post to work from. 22-1's a big price on Hello You, and really he has every chance to hit the ticket really, with that early speed that he has. In for 4th, I went to number 6, Hardy Mill Joe. Post 6 last time, went an overland journey, ended up finishing 3rd in that race that Brightside Melvin won by a wide margin. 17-1 on this one. I see that Ken Middleton slots this one in the second position for him, and I think that Hardy Mill Joe should get every chance to land somewhere on the ticket again, whether it be the trifecta or the super. 17-1 is a big price on a horse I thought raced pretty well last time, and now gets back in on a regular rotation after missing some time last time, racing July 31st and then back again on August the 13th. So Hardy Mill Joe might be one you want to use underneath, and I see the speed limit, number 4, is taking a lot of action right now. I understand why, moving back to the beat tracks from Mohawk Park. Raced, a tough journey there last time over pretty hot fractions on the outside. And coming back to Grand River, where he had a 5th and a 4th in the first 2 starts of his career. Speed limit, I think, has a chance in here, but I can't get too excited at the price of 9-5. Thought he might take some support. I decided to opt against him, but he's certainly one that is worth a look. But for me, I can't get there at 9-5. We'll come back and take a further look at this race with Gary Guy after the post parade.
On parade for the third one, Britton and Stone, Travis Henry for Brenda Duncan, and Judy Campbell. Number 2 is Hello You. Andre Goy drives trains for Gino Toscani. And number 3 is Captain Gaudreau, Jay Harris for Scott Friend and Rebecca Williamson. Number 4, Speed Limit, Dale Spence for Kurt Harper and James Burton. And number 5 is Brightside Melvin, Jay Bruno for Julie Walker and Dr. Terry Fried. Number 6 is Hardy Mill Joe, Brett McDonough for Dr. Trevin Shive and Ken Hardy. And number 7 is Manhattan Joe, Bruce Richardson for Earl McLeod and Clifton Hobbs. Number 8 is Forrest Mikey. It is a J.R. Plot for Don Graham and Larry Todd. And 9 is Kieran Ryan Roche for Albert Smith and Joan Henhock. Field of 9, race number 3. And we'll get a look at this field of horses and geldings, non-winners at 5,000 life on the pace. And there's 5 Brightside Melvin, 3-2 on the board right now. The favorite, I believe, is going to stay the favorite. Look, that race, that last start here, Rob, 57-1 and romping. And even you mentioned the one before it, should keep Brightside Melvin as the favorite, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. I think he deserves it. That win last time, it looks like it was easy on paper, Gary, but it was even easier when you saw it live. I mean, it was, he was under a hand drive. There was no urging given, and I think that this one showed he has a lot of talent. 2 starts back when he finished second to a winner that was pumped up on the front end. And I think that if he didn't suffer interference last turn, he might have won on that occasion. And he wouldn't be in this class tonight because he would have won 2 in a row in here and been out of the class. But now we get to see him one more time in here, and I think he's going to be tough to beat. 6-5 is the price that I was expecting. Wouldn't be surprised if he even dips lower come post time.
There's number 1, Written in Stone. I didn't use this one on my top 4, but you've been chasing this one the last couple. Sports Writer Cold and third start with a driver change from the trainer to we had Scott Calder, Travis Henry, and Travis with another try. Inside post position, maybe worth a shot, 10-1.
Yeah, I think so. Last time got away 7th, didn't have much of a chance, closed a couple of positions to be 5th. Start before that, I think, was going to close into it pretty well to get a piece of it and ended up getting interfered with in the last turn. So I think that Written in Stone is one that can land somewhere on the board here. 10-1's a good price.
Number 2, Hello You, 19-1. I think it's an even better price. This is my second one and your third. And look, also, if you're looking at Hello You, that last race finished better, 30-2 final quarter, because this one has had some trouble finishing. Certainly has the gate speed, and if there's a front-end bias with what we've seen here at Grand River all year, Hello You can get off the gate and might be able to ride the bias to have a little more finish again and carry forward like last time. Well, it did tail off a little bit, but maybe that's a sign of things to come. Beaten a 5.25 to Brightside Melvin last time out. I'm counting on this one closing the gap even more and maybe being the one to use on the exactor ticket.
Yeah, you can't go wrong taking a horse that's loaded with speed at a big price like this at 19-1, because if he ever does get to the lead and gets left alone, well, then you're going to have a big chance to, maybe win the race or at least get a big piece of it. So I'm a little bit surprised He's not taking more support. He took more support last time and really didn't do much wrong. I mean, he faded to finish 4th, but he still led a long way and might be able to do that again tonight. So I'm surprised he's 19-1 right now.
And I think he's showing improvement. I think that's the key, and yet the odds are going the other way. Number 6, Hardy Mill Joe. Well, post 6 last race and got on to the ticket. Third to Brightside Melvin. Needs some pace to run at again. Although the pace was just even last time, it still was able to close 58-3 at the half for 57-1 mile. Hardy Mill Joe and Brett McDonald, 8-1.
Yeah, I think that this one, I was impressed with the effort last time to get up for third and went overland a long way before finishing in that position. I overlooked him in that effort, and I actually went back and watched the replay to kind of see what I had missed, and I thought that it was a pretty solid effort. 9-1 on the board now, down from the price we saw earlier. I think Hardy Mill Joe has a good chance to close into it to get a piece once again.
And number 4, Speed Limit's been taking a lot of money and is 5-2 on the board. Certainly a fan see that drop from Mohawk.
Yeah, we talk about following the money, and if you're going to do that, it's certainly this one in here. It definitely merits some respect making the move back from Mohawk Park, but didn't do too much in two efforts here at Grand River, back in July. So I think the price is too short on that one, and I thought Brightside Melvin was fantastic last time. I think Speed Limit is going to be up against it versus that rival.
Well, Brightside Melvin is giving 9 to 5, and that seems like a fair price because both Rob and I think this one is probably closer to about an even money horse in here. And now you see 2 to 1. Field for the third, taking up positions, written in stone. Hello, you. And Captain Gaudreau in the center, Speed Limit. Brightside Melvin to the outside. Hardy Mill Joe, Manhattan Joe, and Forest Mikey. And the second tier, Kieran. Field of 9. Race number 3. Here they come. Field of 9 for the third. They have reached the top of the stretch. They're all in position and approaching the start. And they're off. And hello, you. On the inside, written in stone, got a little rough. And then to the outside, Brightside Melvin. Hello, you and Brightside Melvin, the first couple. And then on the inside, written in stone. Speed Limit now is racing third. Written in stone was able to keep on pace on the inside, racing fourth. And then it is back to Kieran, Hardy Mill Joe, Captain Gaudreau, Manhattan Joe, and Forest Mickey. And now it is Brightside Melvin who's going to come on and take the lead. Brightside Melvin now dropped at 3 to 5 and has got the lead opening quarter 27-2. Hello You is right there staying a close second, and then Speed Limit's about 6 lengths off the lead and another gap of 5 to written in stone as they work their way off the turn. Then racing fifth is Kieran. The field comes off the turn and will race on towards us and head up towards the half, and then further back is Hardy Mill Joe and Manhattan Joe, and then it is Forest Mikey off at 27-2 opening quarter. Halftime was 57 seconds. 29-3. Second panel breather for Brightside Melvin. And hello you, and Andre Goy staying there in the pocket. Here comes Speed Limit moving on the outside. Speed Limit on the outside is now got a share of second alongside Hello You. Written in stone is popped to the outside, and then Kieran is racing fifth, and then it is back to Manhattan Joe and Hardy Mill Joe and Forest Mikey, but it is still Brightside Melvin. Brightside Melvin, and now JBR looks over his right shoulder. There's not a lot to see, and now tucking into the pocket is Speed Limit to save some ground on the turn. 3/4 at 126-2, and it is Brightside Melvin leading it by 2. Speed Limit second. Hello You has dropped back on the inside, and here comes a late push from Manhattan Joe and written in stone, but it's Brightside Melvin under a hand drive to the finish to take it. Speed Limit was second. Then it was Manhattan Joe, and charging on the outside was Hardy Mill Joe. 155-3. Brightside Melvin dropped just right up at post time, down to 3 to 5, and lived up to that 3 to 5 billing.
Yeah, I think that was the more appropriate price, Gary. 3 to 5. Listen, if anyone saw this horse's last effort, I could have been more emphatic before that race how good this horse was, and I thought that looking at this field tonight, big time standout again. And he proved it. I mean, he actually fought pretty hard for that early lead. They went 27-2 to that quarter. That's not, easy here at Grand River. And he had to overtake a horse that was pretty fired up that ended up fading well out of it. He did get that second quarter breather, went 26-2 to 3/4. But you can see the body language here from JBR. It's just a hand drive. And I think Brightside Melvin, I noticed this, 3 starts back now. I think he's one that's going to be bound for better things, and we're going to see more of him in the future.
Yeah, certainly JPR's body language. He looked like he was sitting on the couch thinking, should I get up to the fridge or can I get a bite to eat? It was pretty relaxed.
Yeah, I think he probably could have enjoyed a sandwich during that drive. That's how easy it was. And, the money wasn't wrong on Speed Limit. I mean, I certainly underestimated that horse. The money was right. The horse raced fantastic. The horse would have won by a football field if Brightside Melvin wasn't in there. But unfortunately, that one and the connections ran into a monster tonight.
Yeah, and then number 7 Manhattan Joe and 6 Hardy Mill Joe. The Joes were able to come on and finish in the 3 and 4 spots, but the tote board told the story of 5 and 4, and that's the way it came. And back in front of us is number 5 Brightside Melvin, a 3-year-old McCaracus, Bay Colt, owned by Dr. Terry Fried. And Julie Walker is the trainer. J.B. Renault, the winning driver. Second win for Brightside Melbourne. Back-to-back wins, 155 and 3, a new career mark. The third race payouts: 5 Brightside Melvin, 320 to 3240. 4 Speed Limit, $3, 310. 7 Manhattan Joe, 280. $2 Exactor, 10. $60 Try, 2410. The Dollar Super, 7765. The third race, order finish from the top: 569 214 387. That's 569 214 387. And fans, while we have a moment, you know whose birthday it is today? It's Rita's birthday. Happy birthday to Rita with love from your family. Happy birthday to you. That's enough. Happy birthday, Rita.
All right, folks, let's take a look at race number 4. We've got Horse and Geldings, now winners of 30,000 lifetime on the pace. We're going to have a heavy favorite once again, I'm pretty sure, and that's where I went. Number 2, Party in the Shadows. This would have been my second single in the pick 5 if we were still alive, but our JR was a little too cheap tonight to do that. So we're dead, but hopefully you're still trucking on. And I like Party in the Shadows in here. 6-5 on the board right now. The price is short and will be short come post time, maybe even shorter than that 6-5. Because last time, Party in the Shadows raced fantastic when moving up to this class and kind of surprised us, at a solid price of 7-2. And did so easily over Harper's hat trick, who I was on that occasion. Now has won 3 in a row, 2 at non-winners of 15,000 life, and 1 at this level, and really one that's rounded into form and been racing fantastic lately. Now gets that, post 2, draws inside of the main competition, I think, and should be able to just fire off the gate and either control his own destiny or sit a favorable trip. I guess Colin Kelly will be the one to decide that one, but Party in the Shadows, I think, is the one to beat in here. 6-5, no surprise on the board. And for second, I've got number 4, First Glance. The other logical one in here, you could have used both of them in my pick 5 ticket, but I singled Party in the Shadows just to hopefully, have more of an equity play with a single as opposed to using both of them. First Glance finished second last time in non-winners of 32,500 life here at Grand River. Marlbank Road got the better of him on that occasion after sitting a perfect trip behind him. First Class went a long way in the lead, and then the start before that went all the way in the lead, had a wide margin throughout before winning by nearly 3 lengths in 54-3. And just, last time as a heavier favorite at 2-5, couldn't close it out. First Glance is one that might be able to come up with a big enough effort to challenge Party in the Shadows. It looks like it should be those two, might even be those two from a pace scenario. I just prefer Party in the Shadows after what he showed us in his last 3 races with no blemishes, whereas First Glance has been in the lead 3 times in his last 3 and only closed one of them out. In for third, number 3, Last Mock. This is one that can always jump up and get you when you leave him off your ticket. I've learned that the hard way. 3 starts back from post 9 when I played against this one, and he got the job done for Mark Winnicott and Aaron Byron in the bike. 2 starts ago, post 8, no chance. Just crossed that one out. Last time made a break in stride. So maybe, this one stays flat inside post, gets into the race. You never know. Last Mock is one that can really charge at them late. If there's ever some quick pace up front, Last Mock might be the one. 11-1 on the board's a nice price. I'll be using that one underneath, definitely on my trifecta and my superfecta wagers. And then in for fourth, number 5, Strong Enough. 0 for 8 this season. Finished 6 times in the top 2 last year and 11 starts. Just really hasn't been the caliber of horse he was, last season, but one that might be trending in the right direction. He's got 3 fourth place finishes in a row, and I think he'll get every chance to get that share again tonight. But do I see him as a win candidate? Probably not, especially drawing outside of the ones that look like they're going to create the early speed. So for me, it's number 2, Party in the Shadows. First Glance obviously has a big chance, and don't sleep on Last Mock, especially in your exotics. 11-1 on the board. He's one that has a chance in here and has won in this class before. But I see the horses and geldings are moving out onto the track for the 4th race. We'll come back in just a few moments to talk about it more with Gary Guy.
Field for the fourth race on parade. One Sobble Attack. Anthony Hunt for Otis Hall and Sobble Hill Farms and Necessita Racing. Number 2 is Party in the Shadows. Colin Kelly for Kyle Bossens and Brad Gray. Number 3, Last Mock. Aaron Byron for Mark Winnicott and John Nicholson. Number 4 is First Glance. Mario by Edoja for The Stable. Number 5 is Strong Enough Lauren House for Samuel Taylor. Number 6, King's Jester Travis Henry for Melissa Lamoureux and Mary DeLuca and Mario Rife. And number 7 is Mustang Beach. J.R. Platt for Dwayne Marfisi and Vasi Racing Stable of Sault Ste. Marie. To get a look at this field for the fourth race, we're just a couple of minutes to post time. Number 2, Party in the Shadows is the favorite right now, and I think you'd have to expect Party in the Shadows to stay as the favorite. First Glance was the favorite in each of his last 3, but I think Party in the Shadows has shown us a pretty strong efforts of late. Also, one thing to note, if you go back and you look towards the bottom of the program, don't be too concerned because this one was off from November 23rd up until June the 11th. It took a couple starts to get rolling, but really is rolling now, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I think he deserves the favoritism, and 6-5 right now on the board. Wouldn't be surprised if that dips come post time because he's been fantastic in each of his last 3. I kind of doubted him moving up to this level last time, and boy, did he ever prove me wrong. He handily beat Harper's Hat Trick, who's a great horse, and Big Chick Magnet as well. So it looks good on the track right now. Should be firing out from post 2. Solid connections. I think they're going to have to really put their running shoes on tonight to get the better of Party in the Shadows.
Well, I certainly doubted him because I was on Harper's Hat Trick. Number 4's First Glance isn't one that I doubt at all. I just think that Party in the Shadows is better. But First Glance is one that can race from on or off the pace, can leave well, but also was very effective here from the trailer post going back a little further, a level below this, but romping by 7 1/4 and 55 and 4 is 6 out of 8 in the top 2. The most logical one against Party in the Shadows, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think so as well. That effort from the trailing post when he won over the track that was graded a second off, winning by more than 7 lengths was just an incredible one. I still have visions of that one. And since then, he's kind of been up and down, and he seems to be one where if he gets reasonable fractions, he's impossible to get past. But if he has to go, pretty solid clip, he's vulnerable late. So it'll be interesting to see what the game plan is with First Glance. If he blasts off, he's going to have to take on Party in the Shadows and hopefully maybe have a little give and go action or something like that. If he comes from out of it, then, will he be able to get there if Party in the Shadows gets his own way on the front end? So I think it's an interesting trip scenario for First Glance. I definitely think he's the second best horse in the race. Just need to see how it all plays out.
Number 3, Last Mock, is one that, unlike First Glance, where I mentioned versatile, can race from on or off the pace. I think Last Mock absolutely is a closer and will need some pace scenario. Also has made some early breaks, so Last Mock is a tricky one to take, especially in this spot if there isn't pace. But 10-1 certainly has flashed some nice things here.
Yeah, I think is one that you can certainly use underneath in your exotics because, if he minds his manners, he's one that kind of always gives you a little bit of a thrill late. Now, 2 starts back from the 8 hole, throw that one out. I mean, there's only 7 horses in this race. He's got post 3. He can't get away worse than 7th, and I don't think he gets away that poorly tonight. So I think Last Mock will be making some noise late, maybe get himself onto the ticket. We've seen him play the upsetter before, but I think he's going to be up against it tonight if he's going to hold that task down.
Well, he beat this class in 55 and 3 from the trailer post from off the pace, but would need sufficient pace to go at. And there is on the inside, number 1, Sobble Attack. We slid past Strong Enough, but there's one Sobble Attack, one that, inside post position, used the inside post to Leamington last race, and gate speed and the inside. You kind of have to think about Sobble Attack. You get 14-1.
Yeah, nice price on one that's got the pole position and has flash speed before. Also has shown that he can race well here at Grand River. Finished third and now it is a 17,500 race at 42-1 back in June. one that might be able to sit a favorable trip and get a piece of it. I don't think he can really go with the main contenders in here, but one that can hit the ticket.
Well, it is a field of 7 for race number 4. Number 2, Party in the Shadows, is the 6-5 favorite, but only slight favored status is for First Glance is sitting at 3-2. It's Double Attack and Party in the Shadows on the inside of the center. Last mock First Glance and strong enough to the outside. King's Jester and Mustang Beach. Field of 7, race number 4. Field of 7 for the 4th is into the stretch drive. Here they come. Giddy up. They're at the start of the rough. Party in the Shadows at First Glance is going to fire hard on the outside. And then Last Mock and Double Attack is on the inside. But right now, it is First Glance who's come on to get the lead. Party in the Shadows is right there filling the pocket, though, and is tight in the pocket. Double Attack did well, got away third. Last Mock is in mid-pack racing fourth and is about 5.5 off the lead. And then back to strong enough in King's Jester and Mustang Beach. But First Glance at 2-1, and Mario's got the lead in front of Party in the Shadows. 3-5 favorite, sits right tight on the pocket. Double Attack is third. Last Mock is racing fourth. Off a quarter, a solid quarter at 27-4. They race on around the turn. Then it is strong enough in King's Jester at Mustang Beach, but First Glance right now at 2-1's got the lead. The favorite Party in the Shadows is right there riding the pocket. Double Attack is on the inside, and here comes Last Mock now. And Last Mock is on the attack and driving first over. Mustang Beach then strong enough in King's Jester. 57-1 is the halftime, and they work their way on into the backstretch. It is First Glance who still got the lead, but being stalked by Party in the Shadows. And then on the inside, Double Attack. On the outside, Last Mock. And then it is strong enough. Mustang Beach is off stride. King's Jester is second from last. They head on to 3/4. It is still right now First Glance, but right close in the pocket. Party in the Shadows looks alive in the pocket. Colin Kelly looks over his right shoulder to see if there's a need to pop out, but right now is still able to stay on the back of First Glance on around the turn. 3/4, 125-4, and racing third, Double Attack. But here comes Party in the Shadows right now. First Glance and Party in the Shadows. First Glance is going to have to dig in. Party in the Shadows is roaring up on the outside. First Glance is game up the inside. Double Attack. 3 across the track. It is Party in the Shadows who parties on by deep in the mile. Takes it over First Glance, and then Double Attack and strong enough. 154-1. Well, if you backed First Glance, you got a thrill, but Party in the Shadows was just a little bit better and also got the trip. 54-1's a nice mile in this bunch, Rob.
Oh, definitely. And interesting, off the gate, we thought that we might see First Glance blast out of there. That's exactly what that one did. And, I think that Colin Kelly actually thought about maybe a little give and go action on the backside there. And I don't know if Mario was going to let him go. So he kind of just sat where he was. First Glance gets easier fractions this time. So he was a lot tougher. He was way more game in the stretch this time. He fought right to the wire, but Party in the Shadows and how well he's been racing, he's just razor sharp right now. He gets past them, and that is a big mile of 54-1 with a back half of 57 seconds flat.
Another key, you saw Colin Kelly look over his right shoulder because he knew that he didn't want to get stuck and not being able to get out in time. So he was able to sit along the inside a little later, and then he made his decision around about halfway around that final turn. That could have been just enough, because if he would have had to, let's say, wait to the top of the stretch and try it up the passing lane, he could have gotten beaten.
Yeah, definitely. I like the steer there from Colin. I think he did everything right, from staying in the 2-hole and then coming out when he did, because, First Glance was game tonight. He needed all that room to run that one down, and now has won 4 in a row with Party in the Shadows.
It's a 2-4-1-5, and Double Attack really raced well, Rob. And Double Attack is 12-1 on the board, finishing a third, and was only about a length and a half or so off the winner, maybe even less. Back in front of us is number 2, Party in the Shadows, a 3-year-old Shadow Play Brown Colts, owned by Brad Gray, trained by Kyle Bossons. Colin Kelly, the winning driver, 5th win for Party in the Shadows, 7th lifetime. 154-1, a new career best. The fourth race payouts to Party in the Shadows 330 to 3240. For First Glance to 92.31, Sobble Attack 360. The $2 exactor is 720. The dollar try 710. The dollar super $25. The fourth race order finished from the top 315 2467. That's 315 2467.
All right, well, it's time to take a look at race number 5. We've got ourselves Rookie Pacers. We got 2-year-olds for non-winners of 5,000 life. It's the money leg of the pick 5, and if you're still alive, good luck. They're paying pretty well, all things considered. Had a bit of a price in the first leg, then 3 favorites consecutively. And number 5, West's Best, is the favorite in the pick 5, paying 45.63 for 20 cents. We got a couple that are paying above $3,400 for 20 cents. That's the one bet on beach and the 6 Grammys call. So good luck if you're alive. And if you're not, might as well bet the pick 3. It starts in this leg. All right. I went with number 5, West's Best, on top in my selections, but this is a race where I was using 6 horses in my pick 5. So you could just see that I'm not overly confident with my selections in here, but I thought West's Best was the one that you had to put on top. Now, hasn't raced since July 19th, was vet scratched sick out of his latest on August the 6th. Did finish second in an OSS grassroots event here. Got beat 5 lengths to sports section. And before that, finished 5th, beaten 8.5 lengths to Colby Two-Step. Well, Colby Two-Step just won an OSS Gold and did so in fabulous fashion. So, West's Best has some really nice form references, but I am concerned about, the time between starts. But maybe, if he was fighting a sickness and now he's over it, he'll be much better. So I'm going to stick with that one on top at 2-1 right now on the board, but I'm certainly not overly confident in anything in this race. That's why I was using 6 in my pick 5. For second spot, I went to number 3, Latest Attraction. That's the other Bob McIntosh horse. I think this one, raced reasonably well last time at Sarnia, went to the lead, led most of the way before finishing 5th to get beat 4.25 lengths. This will now mark the 3rd start for this one after making a debut at Mohawk Park on July the 27th. I think that the post 3, better post than his stablemate. Definitely one you need to consider in here. Not sure why this one is 8-1 on the board right now. I kind of thought, this one figured to be the second or third choice at worst. 8-1 on the board is a big price. And number 3, Latest Attraction. Don't think we'll see that come post time though. And for third, number 2, Roll with the Flow. Finished second here last time to Athens Sealster. That's a rival. Turned in a really nice effort. And this one raced well to be second. Had the pole position on that occasion. Now post 2. So similar post this time around. I think one that you have to consider in marriage respect, especially with that early speed for Blake McIntosh, Tyler Jones, and the bike. And then in for 4th, I went to number 4, Sports Surge. First start, Richard Moreau last time at Clinton Raceway in the Prospect Series. Got away 8th off the gate and just was never in it. Got really bet down in that one, too. It was bet down to 5-2. And, it's just one of those miles you look at and say, you know what, maybe we'll just cross that one off the page and think we might see some better this time around. Second start for Richard Moreau, solid connections. And, third start for Moreau, had him August the 3rd as well. But maybe a better efforts, in the cards tonight. Taking support, too, at 5-1. Some serious support on Sports Surge, right? That would be a big price. But I see the horses are moving out onto the track for race 5. We'll come back and talk about these rookies a little further with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the 5th on parade. 1, Bet on Beach, Anthony Hahn for John Williamson. 2, Roll with the Flow, Tyler Jones for Blake McIntosh and Hunt Racing and Middlebrook Racing. Number 3 is Latest Attraction, Travis Henry for Bob McIntosh and Al McIntosh. 4, Sports Surge, Brent McDonough for Richard Moreau and Brenda Selwyn-Waxman and Tess Waxman. And 5, West's Best, Mario by Edosha for Bob McIntosh and CSX Staples and Al McIntosh. And 6, Grammys Call, Natasha Day for John Marshall and Marlene Marshall. Number 7 is Gangbuster, Head of a Ride of Rose for Dr. Trevin Shive. And number 8 is Lines Valiant. JR applied for Anthony Beaton and 3 Lions Racing. And 9 is Courageux. Jay Harris for Sean Stacy and Catherine Stacy. Field of 9, race number 5, the final leg of the pick 5. Some big prices available. And, Frugal Rob, you got your picks in the 3rd and 4th, your key horses to come in. Wouldn't it be nice to be alive in the pick 5? Oh, you would have had 6 horses in here.
Yeah, I was Mr. Cheapo tonight, and ended up being the death of me in that pick 5. Unfortunately, usually I spend the money, and tonight I decided to be frugal. And I looked at it, I got 2 singles down, went 2 deep in the second. If I just go 3 deep in the first right now, we'd have some nice payoffs on the board there to cheer for. But such is life, Gary.
I just thought I had to chirp you again. Number 5, West is best. Frugal Rob, let's get a look at this one here. He's had 2 starts and was a solid one here July the 19th. The problem is that's the last start. But still, West is best is probably the best horse in here. The question will be whether that best comes here off the layoff.
Yeah, you would think so. Off the form that he shows, second, here in a grassroots, and fifth at Mohawk Park, but against Colby Two Step, who's been just racing incredible right now. So I think you're right. He's the one to beat in here. Looks good on the track right now. The problem is, how much confidence can you have in a horse that hasn't raced in a month from post 5 too, which here at Grand River it could be a bit of a test for a rookie. So. Yeah, 4 to 5 on the board, too short for me, but still my top selection.
Well, I didn't have enough confidence because I took the 2 latest attraction on top. The other 3 handicappers have the 5, and 3 latest attraction. The one thing also is one that I think is very game in here, because if you take a look at the July 27th line, 55 and 3 first career start, which is quicker than West is Best's first start, and then that last race, 57 and 2 at Sarnia, gate speed, favorable post. I like latest attraction and the price.
Yeah, we might see that gate speed again, tonight, and 5 to 1 on the board. I do think he's the value right now. I thought Latest Attraction would take a lot more support in here. I expected that one to be, second or third choice. Right now he is the third choice at 5 to 1 with West's Best. Maybe raising up the other prices at the price of even money right now. But Latest Attraction, if this one goes to the front again here with the bias that we've seen and speeds, looks like it's holding again tonight. I think that there's no reason why he can't just keep on motoring on the front end.
There's number 2, Roll with the Flow, and left well. Got a pocket trip from post 1 last race. Likely going to fire early again, 9 to 2.
Yeah, I got beat by a good one in Athens Sealster, so need to respect this one's chances. Inside post should be leaving out. Might get a favorable trip again, depending on what kind of trip West's Best is going to go, but it could line up 2-3-3-2, in which case, Roll with the Flow has to have a chance.
Number 4, Sports Surge. We'll get to see the second start to Richard Moreau and Bright McDonald driving. They've teamed up well in the past. Didn't leave last time, but you got to think maybe there'll be more here in this second start for Richard.
Yeah, I just kind of threw that line out, and we've seen, Isaac Waxman send horses to Richard Moreau before, and they've done very well. And I think that this one has a license to be better this time. 9 to 1 on the board. Was hoping this one would be a price, pretty reasonable price right now, but I was hoping actually for a bigger number than what he is on the board.
Number 1, Bet on Beach made the equipment change, open bridled blinkers, and I think is going to be leaving, which might open the door for 9 Courageux, who actually raced well here last race. I'm assuming that's the original reason why you didn't use the 9, is because you weren't sure if the 1 was going to leave.
Yeah, but then interestingly enough, so I used the 9 on my pick 5 ticket, and then I added the 1 in the 11th hour because of that equipment change. And really, when you look at it, Gary, number 1, Bet on Beach is 11 to 1. The pick 5 is paying more than 3,400. So based on the pick 5, it should be an astronomical price. But the equipment change open to blinkers. Maybe this one wakes up tonight with a much better effort from the pole position, getting bet really at 15 to 1, because on the paper you say this horse should be 50 or 60 to 1.
And your thoughts on 9 Courageux, because that was a good last race.
I thought it was a great race. Yeah, Overland, a long way throughout that one. I did actually knock this horse in my selections because I wasn't sure about Bet on Beach. I didn't have the equipment change at that time. So definitely his stock rises if Bet on Beach goes forward off the gate.
Well, it is a field of 9, and they are moving in behind the gate. And now taking up their positions, it is Bet on Beach and Roll with the Flow. Latest attraction on the inside of the center, Sports Surge, and West is Best to the outside. Grammy's Call, Gangbuster ahead of her. Lines Valiant, the second tier, Courageux. Right now, number 5, West is Best, is 4-5 on the board. My top 1-3 latest attraction right now is sitting at 5-1. Field of 2-year-old colts, a full field of 9. Moving into position, approaching the top of the stretch. And they're in the stretch drive, gathering speed, nearing the start. And they're off. Latest attraction, Bet on Beach and Roll with the Flow. And then to the outside, that is Grammy's Call and a break from Sports Surge as the field works their way into the backstretch. And now it is Roll with the Flow, but latest attraction wants to roll on. And it is going to be latest attraction who's going to clear to the front. Roll with the Flow is second. Grammy's Call is racing, positioned on the outside third and is parked and driving on. Bet on Beach is racing fourth, and then West is Best and Gangbuster ahead of her. Latest attraction is parking out. Grammy's Call and Natasha Day. 28-3 is the opening quarter. Latest attraction, and Travis Henry wants that inside advantage and the lead and is holding off Grammy's Call at 25-1 on the outside, is forcing the issue, and Roll with the Flow is on the inside and is filling the pocket. Then it's a gap of about 5 or 6 lengths to Bet on Beach, and then West is Best is moving on the outside, and then Gangbuster ahead of her. And it's a lively half of 58, and they race their way up towards the 5/8, and on the inside, latest attraction. Grammy's Call was pressing the issue and now has dropped back. Roll with the Flow is racing second. Grammy's Call is now third. West is Best is fourth best and is about 6 off the lead of latest attraction. Then it is Gangbuster ahead of her, Bet on Beach and Sports Surge, and then Courageux and Lines Valiant. Latest attraction is leading Roll with the Flow by about 2. West is Best is third, but is still about 6 off the lead. Gangbuster ahead of her, then Sports Surge off that early break is racing fifth. 3/4, 127-1. Latest attraction at 4-1 as they turn for home, has the lead at about 2.5 lengths. Roll with the Flow. West is Best as they turn for home, and Gangbuster ahead of her is closing Gangbusters, but latest attraction as they come on down the lane. Latest attraction is going to win, charging as West is Best into a place photo. In the center was Roll with the Flow, and up the inside, Sports Surge. The Inquiry will be up, pretending to that break of number 4, Sports Surge at the start. Mile of 157-3. Latest attraction at 4-1. Well, the track bias held up nicely because went to the front and kept on going.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, didn't we, Gary? This horse was, I mean, I think really good value at 4-1. My second choice, your top choice. So you get to take a bow on this one, Gary. Went to the front like I thought Travis Henry would want to do. West is Best was, handled kind of carefully, probably because, coming back, off a month and, challenge from Grammy's Call and Natasha Day, but I don't think Travis ever really worried about that one. Did have to get busy in the stretch. They were coming to Call a little bit. I think this one got tired late, but still did well to hold them off. And his stablemate was flying late, but also Sports Surge, big recovery, and had all kinds of pace trying to get up the inside.
Yeah, it looked like number 4, Sports Surge up the inside, finished third. Also, the Inquiry sign, judges will be reviewing the action in the stretch drive, but Sports Surge will also be the subject of the inquiry pertaining to that early break in stride. But that's certainly something to keep an eye on, because got away substantially back and then was able to come on rather nicely.
Yeah, I actually thought he might just come on and get, fourth or, maybe just try to get somewhere into the picture, but he actually was flying late and Brett had to kind of go searching for the passing lanes. I think he had so much pace. Not sure, where he ended up at the wire, but I just know it was a blur at the end, on the end of it there, and definitely one to put a circle around for next time.
I'm thinking it's 3-5-4-2. Note the inquiry will not affect number 3, latest attraction. I was worried in the early going with Grammy's Call forcing the issue. I was actually surprised when the half came up at 58 because considering being pressed, I didn't think that it was going to be quite 58. I thought it might be a little lower, but that was enough.
Yeah, definitely. I think that again, I don't think Travis was ever really concerned, and this one did well to finish out his mile. Wes's best is one also to put a circle in for next time because he kind of was a little bit delayed getting going, and that's understandable. Probably needed this one as a tightener, and will be better next time.
Oh, he closed a lot of ground if you think about where he was, about past the 5/8, heading towards three quarters. So that was really a fine effort. But number three, latest attraction, 2-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay Gelding, victorious in his third career start, first win, owned by Bob McIntosh and Al McIntosh. Bob McIntosh, the trainer. Travis Henry, Turk Henry, victorious in the fifth with the latest attraction, 157-3. Fans note the inquiry pertains to racing action coming up the inside, coming to the finish. And you see racing between number two, Roll with the Flow, and four, Sports Surge. Fans, as it pertains to the inquiries pertaining to the stretch drive, the judge's ruling that there were no violations. And also note the judges reviewed number four, Sports Surge, and determined that number four, Sports Surge, did not violate the braking regulations. The inquiry signed down. The number is 3524. The fifth race payouts 3. Latest attraction 1020, 620, 340. 5 West is best 340, 262. Roll with the flow 260. $2 exactor, $27.80. Try, $37.40. Super, $122.55. And the dollar pick 5, 5 of 5, 386.10. The fifth race order finished on the top 731 429 586. That's 731 429 586.
All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at race number 6. We're going on the trot this time. Non-winners of 2,500 last 3. It's the money leg of the pick 4. not paying as high as those pick fives, but how could they after starting off with two favorites and then a lukewarm choice in the latest, but still some decent payouts up there. It is also our super high five race, or the Pentafecta, our first one of the night. So start mapping out your tickets for that one. It is usually one that pays off very, very well. I've got number 5, Red Hot Torch, as my top selection. I think he's going to enjoy getting back into the condition ranks here at Grand River. And last time racing in the top condition was a pretty deserved winner, going first over a long way and winning by half a length on the end of it. Now gets to come back in an easier spot after taking on Preferred Company and then an invitational group at Clinton last time on August the 8th. So I just think that Red Hot Torch is one that figures in here, and a price at 9-2. I'll take that price on that one, getting down to this level. Number 6, Muscles Aplenty, is one you've got to respect, especially after the last effort in this class. Had the pole position on that occasion, but blasted out of there and went a long way on the front end until getting beat by just half a length on the wire. And Muscle Plenty is one that can probably leave from anywhere. She's got a lot of gate speed. I think we'll see her forwardly placed against an even from post 6, 4-1 on the board right now. Probably the right price on Muscles of Plenty. Number 2, Dominum Deo. Last time disappointed as the favorite. Came first over and just lacked that punch that we saw 2 starts back against condition claimers. And that $15,000 condition claimer class is certainly easier than this group when Dominum Deo carries an optional tag of $10,500. Inside post to work from this time. And, Dominum Deo might rebound, but for me, 9-5 on the board, that's a price that I would proceed with caution with. And he might even go lower than that. That's why I didn't put this one on top, because he figures to take support. And I'm not sure that I want to be in that corner tonight. In for 4th, I went to number 7, Club Belvedere. Right now, 3-1, taking all kinds of action on the board. First start for Andrzej Goy, and we saw him race one earlier in the night, forwardly placed. This one likely won't be from post 7, but does have some talent. Might be able to get into it late. 3-1, those 2 shorter price for me on that one. And then number 3, You Can't Have It, one that I've been chasing underneath for a while. Wow, Randy Wable's aboard tonight, 25-1 inside post. Sign me up for You Can't Have It underneath with this trotting group. Might be able to get a piece of it, especially in that super high 5 wager at a bomb price. But we'll come back and talk about this one further with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the 6th on Parade 1, Spicy Victor, John Farrington for Ernest Party. Number 2 is Dominum Deo, Travis Henry for Gerard Mares. 3 is You Can't Have It, Randy Waples for Ron Waples and Dr. Sheila Atmore. 4 is Easton Ivy, it's Brett McDonough for Stephen Doyle and Henry Drong. 5 is Red Hot Torch, Ryan DeRoche for Jason Ryan. And number 6, Muscles of Plenty, Jay Harris for Joe Shaw, Patricia Gibb. And number 7 is Club Belvedere, Andre Goy drives and trains for Dr. Mike Veneri. And number 8 is PC Just a Dream, Curtis Clements for Peter Clements. And number 9 is Super T, Colin Kelly for John Yake and Chris Yake. Field of 9, race number 6 featuring the Super High 5, the Pentafecta. Let's get a look at this field. And first up, we're going to take a look at number 5, Red Hot Torch. And Rob, this one was red hot also last fall at Flamborough. 1-3 in a row last fall. Of those 7 wins last year, 3 of them came in a row late. And Red Hot Torch also shows the ability to race from on or off the pace. Ryan DeRoche with the drive. And, well, the last 3 races not great. But look, was facing much tougher driving class. And now you see this one in the infield just trying to stay quiet.
Yeah, I agree. The last three are ones you kind of just say, well, anyone in there coming out of that class into here would be one you'd consider. So I'm not worried about those, kind of lesser showings in those classes. The win in the upper condition classic ran around July 14th, so one that I reference and say, well, you know what? If he could do it against that group, why can't he do it against this one? Post five to work from, like you said, he's versatile. 3-1 on the board. The price is coming down. I was getting excited when it was around 4 or 5 to 1. Now we're down to 3 to 1.
Well, also, if you go a little further back, beat a preferred three class as well, so that's above this one. Muscles of Plenty has been racing in this class the last couple. They were both solid efforts. Muscles of Plenty has to be a major consideration and is right now 4 to 1. Jay Harris drives for Joe Shaw.
And has all kinds of speed. That's one of the reasons why I've always liked this mare. She can blast off the gate, and really, it doesn't matter what post she has. She's got that kind of speed, that snap speed off the gate to get well spotted early on. And I think that's going to happen again tonight with Jay Harris. We saw, two starts back from post five, get away third. Last time, obviously, get away with the lead from the pole position. 7 to 2 on the board. I think that's probably around the right price on this one, and I couldn't fault anyone for even playing a win ticket or using high up in their exotics.
Number 2, Dominum Dale is the one with back class, and Travis Henry for Gerard Demers. And, well, this one is one that has a little bit better post, hasn't had this good of a post in a little while, and is racing well. I know that last race flattened out a little bit. We didn't finish the way we'd expect, but Dominum Dale certainly is a big-time bounce-back candidate. I don't like 2 to 1, though.
Yeah, 2 to 1 is, in my opinion, too short, and it's because I think yes, one side of it maybe a bounce back candidate. The other side for me is, I'm always leery of condition claimers meeting in against these groups now because it's a whole different kettle of fish. And if you go back and look at some lines in similar classes before, the condition claimer, they were kind of mediocre and just kind of getting a piece of it. So right now 6 to 5 on the board, Dominum Deo. I'm a proceed with caution type on that one. I respect the barn. Nice post position. The horse can race very well. 27 wins lifetime, but maybe, just maybe, this class might not be the best spot for him.
There's number 3, You Can't Have It, and RW, Randy Waples driving. This one shows some signs of moving forward, and also now hasn't had a good post in a while, gets to move towards the inside. Just might step up. You get 14 to 1. Could slide onto the ticket.
Yeah, this is what I've been chasing on the ticket for a long time, Gary. You know that, and we haven't got there yet. Maybe it's tonight, though. Best post he's had in a while. You get Randy Waples on the bike, 14 to 1 now. I like the price earlier at 25 to 1, but even 14 to 1, I've got no problem using You Can't Have It underneath.
We didn't find time to talk about number 7, Club Belvedere, but we'll squeeze it in here because this one is one that's showing enough speed and form to be a factor. It's just the question of the post position and how she gets involved.
Yeah, if Club Belvedere drew an inside post, I'd probably be all over this one, maybe even in the win position. I think this one's going to, move in the right direction, and the post tonight is such a difficult task.
It's a field of 9 for race number 6, the Super High 5, the Pentafecta, and it will be Spicy Victor, Dominum Dale, and You Can't Have It on the inside of the center, Easton Ivy, and Red Hot Torch to the outside, Muscles of Plenty, Club Belvedere, PC Just a Dream, and the second tier, Super T. Right now, number 2, Dominum Dale is the 7 to 5 and now 8 to 5 betting favorite. Field for the 6th race is at the start of the off. Dominum Dale is going to leave with Easton Ivy. Muscles of Plenty. Club Belvedere on the outside is also charging early. Then that is You Can't Have It as the field works their way around the turn. Super T, they work into the backstretch. Dominum Dale. Muscles of Plenty continues to muscle. And then Club Belvedere is on the outside. Racing third, caught on the outside, and then Easton Ivy. And now Club Belvedere is going to drive on as now Muscles of Plenty is trying to clear into the lead. Muscles of Penny trying to clear Dominum Dale, and now does so, and hung on the outside. Club Belvedere continues on. Dominum Dale's racing on the inside third, 27-4. Sharp opening quarter. Then Easton Ivy back to You Can't Have It, and further is Super T. Then Spicy Victor, and back second from last is Red Hot Torch as they race off the turn. Then PC Just a Dream. It is Muscles of Plenty being prompted by Club Belvedere. Dominum Dale on the inside, swerved down into the inside lane as they race their way on past the half. And it is You Can't Have It, who's racing third. And then Super T on the inside. And Easton Ivy on the outside as they work their way into the backstretch. And now Dominum Dale is down into the pass into the safety lane. And Travis Henry having some difficulty with Dominum Dale. And is way back and out of it. Muscles of Plenty. They race on to three quarters. And on the inside, Club Belvedere found a seat on the inside. Super T now is coming at 18-1 and trying to bear down on Muscles of Plenty. Club Belvedere on the inside at 15-1 is racing third. Then You Can't Have It, and then it is back to Easton Ivy, and Red Hot Torch on the inside is locked on the inside, and then on the outside PC Just a Dream. Dominum Dale is trying to make a huge recovery, and then Spicy Victor, and they turn for home. Here comes Super T trying to track down Muscles of Plenty. Muscles of Plenty and Super T. Muscles of Plenty is going to hold on at the finish and win it. Super T was second. PC Just a Dream came driving up late to pick up third, and then it was You Can't Have It, and Red Hot Torch finishes fifth, but it is Muscles of Plenty, 159-4. Muscles of Plenty, driven sharply by Jay Harris, came on to grab the lead past that right around the quarter, grabbing it from Dominum Dale, and was able to keep it going and keep that bias.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said I thought this one, was worth, a look at that price and maybe even a win ticket. I put this horse in the second spot for myself, and Red Hot Torch didn't fire tonight, but Muscle of Plenty sure did. Got to the lead and made most of the race's calls a winning one, holding off Super T late. I thought Super T might mount a charge at this one late, but Muscle of Plenty did well to finish off her mile to get the job done.
You know what I was tempted to talk about is number 8, PC Just a Dream, because she's been off a long while. If she was at all right, and you saw her close to finish third, look, earned more than $2,000 to start last year as a 4-year-old. It's just has been off since back November 27th.
Yeah, definitely. One that for me, I just looked at it and said post 8. We'll watch for next time. Well, now we got to watch if next time if she draws inside, because she got a big piece of it at 30-1. And look at these prices, Gary: 4-1 on top, 18-1 second, 30-1 third, and I believe 11-1 fourth. And the favorite Dominum Deo off the ticket. So this is either going to be a massive super high five or maybe a carryover.
Well, clearly there was something troubling Dominum Deo, and you saw Travis Henry down on the inside trying to recover, but too far back. And number 5, Red Hot Torch, who was 5-2 on the board, really didn't kick in till late, so there's helping the ticket pay. Back in front of us is number 6, Muscles of Plenty, a 4-year-old Angus Hall Bay mare, owned by Patricia Gibb. Joe Shaw, the trainer. Jay Harris, the winning driver. 4th win this year, 15th lifetime. Muscles of Plenty, 159-4. Jay Harris, the Green Arrow, victorious in the 6th. The sixth race payouts. Number 6, Muscles of Plenty. 1090, 640, 380, 9 Super T, 20, 220, and 620, and 8 PC Just a Dream 990. The $2 exactor 158.10. The dollar try is 1250.90. And note that high five carryover into the final race, 3,295.03. Almost $3,300 into the final race pentafecta. And the dollar pick 404, 101.70. Fans, a driver change in race 8. Number 3, press time. The driver will be Nick Stewart. Nick Stewart drives 3 press time in the 8th. The 6th race over finish after the placing. It'll be 894-751-632. That's 894-751-632.
All right, folks. Well, it's time to take a look at race number 7. It's the start of our late pick 4, so start mapping out your winning wagers for that one. Also, you better get started on race number 10 and our Super High 5 or Pentafecta because there's a carryover of nearly $3,300. Make sure you start mapping out your winning tickets for that one. Race number 7, we're on the trot. Now winners of 5,000 a lifetime. And I went to the inside of the gate or towards the inside of the gate to number 2, Denise. And the reason why is that I think this one has shown some speed in the past. And now you get a much better post position here at Grand River than post 6 at Clinton. You get Preston Shaw aboard. And I think we're going to see a lot of speed from this one off the gate. And it might be difficult to catch her. And if someone does cover her up, then maybe she'll sit a favorable trip. But I just kept coming back to this one with the post position and some of those lines there where she's forwardly placed and she gets a piece of it, and the one time she did get caught on the lead at Hanover. Maybe, if she can ride the bias here at Grand River, she can keep on trucking, and she gets back on the LASIX program after not being able to use it at Clinton last time. In for second, I went to number 5, Chico Moderno. This one's been racing pretty well lately. Been 3 top 3 finishes in his last 3, and has hit the board 3 out of 7 this season. So one that's trending in the right direction. First start for Ron McDonald last time and got bet down to 45 cents in the dollar. Ended up finishing second, beaten a length. Did have to move wide around the last turn over a sloppy track. So one that might be an improving type. I see every other handicapper win to this one. I did put this one in the second spot and do respect his chances. My concern is I don't see a lot of gate speed. I do see a break on the card. So I was kind of thinking, okay, well, if this one doesn't get, forwardly placed off the gate, what's the trip look like? I wanted to be on one that's going to probably blast out of there, and that's number 2, Denise, in my opinion. Then I went to number 1, Bubba Louie, the decent qualifier last time, at Mohawk Park on August the 3rd, and led all the way before getting picked up late by Star Power Hanover and Rose Run Excalibur. These are, and even Kipper Whippersnipper, these are all horses that are racing at the OSS gold level. So you look at this horse's qualifier and say, okay, well, led a long way and then got picked up. Yeah, got picked up by absolute killers. So Bubba Louie might be one that's going to slip through the cracks here. Obviously, a 2-year-old against older horses, but people may discount that qualifier when in actuality it matches up pretty darn good against this group. So 13-1 on Bubba Louie might be a decent price. Just depends on how it's going to go for this 2-year-old facing older. Not something I usually like to take, and that's why I left number 4 Resolute Bay off my selections, where I see everyone else is using that one in the second spot. Then for the fourth spot, I went to number 7, Monster Mash. This is one that I used last time from the 7 hole to get a small share of it, and he did exactly that. He ended up finishing 4th at 26-1. Maybe this one can do that again tonight. Right now, 9-1 on the board, though that's too short of a price for me. I see the Trotters are making their way onto the track, though. We'll come back in just a few moments to talk about it more with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 7th on Parade 1. Bubba Louie, J.P. Renault for Julie Walker and Murray Bradshaw. Number 2 is Denise. It is Preston Shaw for Bill Meekins. And 3 is Chili and Toast, Nick Stewart for Bud Sinclair and Lindsay Sinclair and Tom Strawn. 4 is absent. 5 is Chico Moderno, Brett Donovan, Ron McDonald, and Nicholas Malcolm. Number 6, Jewel of Hessen, Bruce Richardson for Joe Coffey and Morley Bosworth and Peter Irwin. And number 7 is Monster Mash, Anthony Hunt for Paul Cameron and Jamie Cameron and TJ Stables. Number 8 is Tom Shamrock, Colin Keller for Don Lindsay and Paul Lindsay. And 9 is Ranger Rob, J.R. Plot for Dave Holiday and Ben Holiday. And there is a number 8 Timel Shamrock. Colin Kelly for Don Lindsay and Paul Lindsay. It's a field of 9 for the 7th race. Maiden Trotters. Let's get a look at this field. We'll start with number 2, Denise. And well, as you said, Rob, you expect to see some early speed from Denise. Favorable post position. Look, left from post 6 and got a pocket trip, so you'd have to think is going to be leaving from post position 2. And you also saw the front end speed at Hanover July the 10th. Denise is currently 9-2, is holding at a decent price.
Yeah, I like the price at 9-2 on this one. I kept coming, and I looked at this race a bunch of different times and was kind of moving around my selections, but I always came back to Denise as my top choice. And I just think that the pace scenario might work out in her favor, and if she can get off the gate and either with the lead or maybe with the 2-hole, she could be a big time danger in here. 5-1 on the board's a nice price.
Number 5, Chico Moderno, is likely to be a lot of a player's top pick here, just based on the third and a pair of seconds. You, I think, correctly identified the question mark is the gate speed. Second start for Ron McDonald with Chico Moderno. And I expect maybe at least him to try to leave a little bit more. We'll see if that can be the plan. Right now, 3-1 seems like a nice price at least.
I like the way that he was just scored down there, not going too fast, but looking good on the track. And, maybe we're going to see this one forwardly placed. And, the trot races sometimes, especially if whenever it makes a miscue or horses aren't really trying to leave out, maybe Chico Moderno can get away better than he did in his last effort when he finished second at Georgian Downs. I respect the chances. I respect the connections. That was my main concern. And I thought he'd be a shorter price than the 5-2 he is on the board right now.
Number 1, Bubba Louie, is 11-1 on the board. You used this one for third, and I did throw the 9 on the ticket because I expect Bubba Louie to leave. Bubba Louie is making a first start inside post for Youngwin, but still I expect this one might get off the gate a little bit.
Yeah, if this one ever leaves out, then this could be a big time player in here. 15-1 on the board. I just keep looking at those names in that qualifier: Star Power Hanover, Rose Run Excalibur, and Kipper Whippersnipper. Kipper Whippersnipper just finished in the money last night in the gold, and the other ones are gold level horses as well. So I think Bubba Louie is one you've got to use underneath in the exotics. Obviously, 2-year-old against older horses, making his lifetime debut. One that I would typically want to watch and wait till he's in against fellow rookies. But 17-1 on the board, again, I don't mind that qualifier.
Number 7, Monster Mash, has not been getting any respect on the tote board in previous starts. And last race here was 26-1, but did make the bottom of the superfecta. That was post 7. Well, knows the post position, is back in it again. A shoe change as well. Is changing to flip-flops up front.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan when horses switch to flip-flops, whether it be up front or anywhere, just because, Gary, imagine trying to go out there and run a race wearing flip-flops yourself. Listen, I love it when they go flip-flops to steel or flip-flops to aluminum. I do like this horse. I think that the last effort was a good one from post 7. The price at 9-1, though, a little bit, too short for me. I wanted to use Monster Mash as a price play underneath. And right now he's taking, a lot of action down to 8-1. But it might be a good sign because, obviously he might be, in store for a better effort tonight.
Well, and I have a lot of respect for Paul Cameron's training, and he's got winning at almost a 33% clip on the year. A Monster Mash. I wouldn't be shocked. 9-1. There's a look at number 4, Resolute Bay. We have to touch on this one because it has been getting a lot of love, especially early. 7-2 is my second choice. I thought the dropping from grassroots and is one that actually battled hard at Kawartha last time up before tailing off a little bit, and the track was off a second, so the speed compares well.
That was a decent group too in the grassroots, and then made a break 2 back at Sarnia, and then at Mohawk Park. I think one of the reasons why I maybe held against this horse, well, 2 reasons. A 2-year-old against older horses. I know at Bubba Louie I used for third, but this one, post 4, 2-year-old against older. And I sometimes have a bias against horses I pick in the Horse Players Journal, and they don't fare too well, I think, because I did have this one on top when he finished 5th on July the 15th. So, again, I think Resolute Bay, if he comes back to that effort at Grand River on June the 30th, might be able to get a piece of it in here. I'm very hesitant, though, to take young 2-year-olds against older horses.
Well, I didn't take Resolute Bay in the harness players program, so I felt comfortable taking him for second. We'll see how Resolute Bay races. But Chico Moderno, my top one, is sitting now the favorite at 6-5, and Denise is offering a very nice 6-1. With positions Bubba Louie, Denise, and Chili and Toast on the inside of the center. Resolute Bay, Chico Moderno to the outside, Jewel of Hess and Monster Mash, and Tamil Shamrock, the second tier. Ranger Rob. Field for the seventh is at the start of the rough, and Denise is going to leave home. And then it is Chili and Toast, and off stride goes Ranger Rob. The field works on around the turn, and Resolute Bay is third right now. Bubba Louie made a break in stride, also racing around that first turn. And now Monster Mash has come on to grab fourth in the early going. And Resolute Bay popped out from third and is pointed towards the front against Denise. It is Denise at 8-1 who's got the lead. But on the outside, Resolute Bay. Travis Henry is resolute in his attempt to come on and grab the lead. Resolute Bay is going to take over. And racing second, Denise. And then Chili and Toast is third. Monster Mash is currently racing fourth, and then Chico Moderno now is in mid-pack fifth. And then it is back to Jewel of Hessen. Chico Moderno is going to start to the outside. Monster Mash will provide cover for Chico Moderno as they race off the turn, and they roll on towards us. And right now with the lead is Resolute Bay. Denise on the inside. Here comes Monster Mash, and Monster Mash is being followed by Chico Moderno, who's moving up aggressively. Chili and Toast down to the inside. Ranger Rob has made a huge recovery and is out into the flow. And then it is a Jewel of Hessen and Tamil Shamrock into the backstretch off a half of 102-4. Resolute Bay leads it right now by about a length and three-quarters. Monster Mash on the inside, Denise, and then Chico Moderno looks alive and is going to roll right now off the cover of Monster Mash. Monster Mash is getting a little closer. Resolute Bay on the inside, Monster Mash. Chico Moderno is set out three wide. Denise is on the inside, and Ranger Rob is racing fifth. And then sixth is Chili and Toast, and seventh Tamil Shamrock, and then Jewel of Hessen. Three-quarters, 132-4. Resolute Bay, and on the outside, Chico Moderno. Resolute Bay, Chico Moderno. Denise is on the inside. On down the stretch drive they come. Resolute Bay is resolute, and flying on the outside is Chico Moderno. Resolute Bay wins it. Chico Moderno up the inside, though Chili and Toast appeared to pick up second. And on the outside, that was Chico Moderno, 202-4. Resolute Bay. Resolute Bay was very, very fine. The half in 102-4 certainly helped things out nicely coming the back half in a minute.
Yeah, and the Robert off angle helped too with this one. I just find that when I jump off one like this, usually they go out there and race pretty well. And this is a much better effort for Resolute Bay. This is not an easy task for a 2-year-old to go out and race against older horses, and he did so in fine fashion. Ended up getting to the lead, which I was kind of at that moment said, "Uh-oh, this one's going to be pretty lively tonight," and he kept on trucking on the front end, and I think that's a much better effort for Resolute Bay to get the job done for the stable and trainer Jonathan McKinnon.
Yes, and definitely the pace scenario helps. We're looking at the finish right there. Chico Moderno actually raced very well second over, and then pulled when he needed to pull, just couldn't track down a strong one.
Yeah, I just couldn't get to the leader, and I think Chico Moderno is one to keep an eye on. I was worried about the pace scenario tonight for that one and trip scenario, and it kind of went the way I thought it would. He was actually a little bit closer than I expected and thought he might get there, but you can see that Resolute Bay had enough to fend that one off. Again, Chico Moderno is one to watch for next time, though.
Yeah, the one question will be, though, he needs to show us some gate speed, and Chico Moderno is one that if they don't go enough up front, might be one that you're often pressed to try to use on top.
Yeah, definitely. I just think that maybe a better post might help him get away a little bit better. But you're right; he hasn't shown gate speed yet, and will likely need that if he wants to make his home for racing at Grand River.
Chili and Toast was flying late, almost picked up second at 14-1 for third, and then Denise at 8-1. That was a nice price on Denise. It was a good shot that you took, and Denise was credible, finishing in the top four.
Yeah, and I was happy the fact that I was right about the pace scenario and that Denise would be a big part of it. Just didn't have the horsepower to close it out. Let it on the bottom end of the super. 8-1 shot, definitely worth a chance. Just didn't work out.
It's a 4-5-3-2. Back in front of us is number 4, Resolute Bay. Chestnut 2-year-old Resolve gelding, owned by the stable. Jonathan McKinnon is the trainer. Travis Henry, the winning driver. Resolute Bay, victorious in 202 and 4. Also noted is the driving double on the evening for Travis Henry. Turk Henry with 2 driving wins on the night. The 7th race of payout, number 4, Resolute Bay, 660, 340, 310. 5, Chico Moderno, 330, 230. And 3, Chili and Toast, 370. $2 exactor, 1430. $1 try, 2850. $1 super, 95.40. Here is the seventh race order finish from the top after a placing. 843-127-569. That's 843-127-569.
All right, well, time to take a look at race number 8. It's horses and geldings on the pace. Non-winners of 15,000 lifetime. And in here, I went to a horse that's won a couple of races in a row now, and that's number 5, Gambling Addiction. Right now, 3-1 on the board. And, this one may have turned the corner. 2 starts back, Kawartha Downs won, and non-winners of 1 or 5,000 life. Did so pretty handily. And then I actually doubted this one last time coming here at this level. Did get a favorable trip from off the pace, and there was some speed up front, but just like the way Gambling Addiction finished off his mile. Kind of won with ease on the end of it. I see that all the handicappers are on board with Gambling Addiction, but the odds board isn't right now at 3-1. Thought Gambling Addiction would take a lot more action because he was kind of not under much urging at the wire last time. And like I said, 1-2 in a row now. Was racing relatively well back here earlier in the summer at Grand River. But I think it's just one that may have turned the corner now, and it's just onward and upward for better things for this one for Jeffrey Williamson. And we got Anthony Hahn back in the bike tonight as well. 3-1 on the board. That's a good price right now, I think, on Gambling Addiction. In for second, number 3, Press Time, was a winner in his first start for Jim Ellis last time after shipping from Truro out east at Clinton Raceway. Now there's a 10,000 life. Did it all in the front end, and I thought it was a pretty solid effort all in all. Right now, 7-2 on the board. I think the Press Time is one that merits some respect in here. I just saw Gambling Addiction get hammered down to 2-1, so that price is going to start heading south most likely. But Press Time is one you need to consider in here. Picks up Nick Stewart now on the driving duties. In for third, number 1, Kodiak Sealster. Last time, got bet down to 3-1, left out really hard, got hooked up in a speed duel, ended up going to the half in 56-4, then kind of faded late, just try to make a move at the passing lane, finished 6th on the end of it. I think Kodiak Sealster's a pretty nice horse, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one fires out again from the pole position, might get an easier go of it, or sit a favorable trip. And 5-1 on him is a pretty solid price because I do think he's one of the better horses in the race as a whole, and has a chance in here just depending on how the trip plays out. And he gets that all important rail again, and he hasn't had it since September of last year, where he was a second place finisher here in the Prospect Series by just 3/4 of a length. And then in for fourth, number 6, World for 2. I do like this horse. However, he is a young horse a 2-year-old going against older horses. And I, as you know, in the last race, I shy away from it. Didn't work in there. Resolute Bay got the job done. So maybe World for Two will do the same thing here for this stable. Has hit the board in 4 of 5 so far in his life, and has raced, pretty well and facing pretty good horses too. Control Me Once last time, who was just victorious at Mohawk Park in his last start. Caligny Hanover, Many Moons, Rockaway Bay, Colby Two Step, very nice horses. So World for Two certainly is one that might jump up in here. I just am hesitant because he is just a rookie. I see they are moving out onto the track for race number 8. We'll come back and talk about it more with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the 8th on parade. 1, Kodiak Silster. Chris Matthews drives and trains and partners with Desmond Scott and Jeff Bryan and Todd Williams. Number 2, Finn T. Silster. Ryan Roche for Lyle Greenwich. And 3, Press Time. It is Nick Stewart for Jim Ellis and Stephen Binkley. And 4 is Sunseeker, Lauren Hauser, Greg Merlot. And 5 is Gambling Addiction, Anthony Hunt for Jeffrey Williamson and Rebecca Williamson. Number 6, World for Two, Mario Bayadoshaw for the stable. And 7 is Reggie's Game, Brent McDonald for Ron McDonald and Donna Wilson. And 8 is Lincoln Boulevard, Drew Neal for Jeffrey Williamson and Rebecca Williamson and Laverne Turnbull. Field of 8, race number 8. Let's get a look at this field. Rob, we'll start with number 5, Gambling Addiction. I used this one for second last time out, and, I was wrong because Gambling Addiction was even better than that. Was 11-1 and beat his stablemate Lincoln Boulevard and looked nice doing it. So now looks for a 3rd straight win.
Yeah, and I think this one's obviously trending in the right direction. 1, 2 in a row, and each of those was pretty easy. Last time he kind of came from out of it after having post 6 and kind of got dragged into the race, but he moved 3 wide pretty early and looked pretty strong coming to the wire. So I think Gambling Addiction is one that merits big time respect in here, and now of course the odds board started to go the direction I thought it would with him being 4-5.
Ones that we should take a look at. Well, number 3, Press Time is your second choice, and my 4th one, Nick Stewart with the drive. This will be the second start for Jim Ellis with Press Time, and got the job done at Clinton last race. This will be the second start in Ontario as well. Had shipped in from Truro.
Yeah, I think that Press Time, you've got to give some consideration to. And here's 6-1 on the board. And liking the price on this one, 1-for-1 for his new barn, and at Clinton last time did it all on the front end and had a pretty big margin early on, held on by a head, but that was his first start since July the 23rd, and for his new connection. So it might just be onward and upward for Press Time. 7-1 on the board, solid price on that one.
You might be wondering, why are we looking at 8 Lincoln Boulevard? You didn't use that one in your top 4. Well, I used Lincoln Boulevard for 3rd. Got beaten by his stablemate last time out, but I thought he fought really hard first up last time out. And I also like that race, the effort from off the pace here 2 races ago to come from 11.5 back to be beaten a length and a half. And Party in the Shadows was the winner, so that's a good measuring stick. Lincoln Boulevard offers 13-1. I think he could be flying late, especially if there's early speed. I think there is early speed in this race.
Yeah, it just comes down to the way the race makes up. Post 8's so difficult here at Grand River, but if the race does kind of fall apart on the front end, I can see Lincoln Boulevard getting into it late and getting a big piece of it. 9-1 on the board, not a bad price.
We talked about early speed. I expect that early speed, a big part of it comes from 1 Kodiak Silster, and Chris Matthews fired to the front last race. Now, tailed off in the late going. Kodiak Silster gets another try, this time from inside. You have to expect that he's going to fire hard. 8-1's a fair price.
I would think so. Yeah, I toyed with putting this one on top because I thought the last effort was better than it actually looks on paper because he battled pretty hard early on. He had a definitive lead and then had one come at him where then he was relegated to the two hole and they went pretty fast fractions early. 6-1 on the board, pole position. I think that you've got to take advantage of that, go forward off the gate, and this one ever gets left alone or gets a breather, it might be difficult to beat.
We talked about gate speed from one Kodiak Sealster. Post position 6 is usually not the spot you want your gate speed, but we have a difference of opinion on the 6 here as well. I use this one for second. Look, I know is one that's been facing maiden class, but those were some nice miles at Mohawk and some good overall speed. I think World for Two is probably going to be firing early. At least that's my prediction. 9-2. I like this one second best.
Yeah, it's shown speed in the past, and not just the fast miles he's been going. He's been facing off against some really good horses too. Many moons, Cligney, Hanover, Control Me Once just came back to win. Colby Two Step, we mentioned that one earlier. World for Two is one that again, if he was facing fellow rookies, I'd be all over him. I put him in the fourth spot. I think he should get a piece of it somewhere. I just kind of lean to a lesser share.
Well, we have some disagreement on the underneath horses, but we don't have any disagreement on who we like on top. That is 5 Gambling Addiction. And Anthony Hahn, who also the fans agree, have this one as the 7-5 betting favorite looking for a third straight win. It'll be Kodiak Silster, Finty Silster on the inside with press time. In the center, Sunseeker and Gambling Addiction to the outside. World for Two. Reggie's Game, Lincoln Boulevard. Field of 8, race number 8. It is post time. Here they come. The field for the 8th race. Gathering speed, nearing the start. And they're at the start of the rough. Press time will press out well. Kodiak Sealter along to the inside. And Gambling Addiction as the field surges on into the backstretch. And press time is going to press on. Kodiak Sealter has got the racing second position. And then Gambling Addiction popped out right now. Gambling Addiction, Anthony Hahn wants to come on and try to take lead from press time. But press time leads it still a length and a half. And Kodiak Sealter is on the inside racing third. Then about 6 or 7 back to Reggie's Game and Finty Sealter. Lincoln Boulevard and Sunseeker and World for Two is well back. They race on around the turn. Gambling Addiction now is able to come on and get the lead. Gambling Addiction is 3-5 on the lead. Press Time's racing second. Kodiak Sealter is on the inside third. And then it is Reggie's Game who's racing fourth as they come off the turn and they work on towards us. And now Lincoln Boulevard starts to roll a bit on the outside but has plenty of work to do. Then it is Finty Sealter and Sunseeker. And World for Two is back racing, positioned from the trailing spot. They work into the backstretch, and it is Gambling Addiction. Press time is right there pressing and sitting in the pocket. Kodiak Sealter on the outside as they race on down the backstretch, and Kodiak Sealter has moved up. The half was 56-2. Gambling Addiction and Kodiak Sealter is trying to bear down on Gambling Addiction, who still looks sharp on the lead, but getting some urging from Anthony Hahn. Kodiak Sealter on the outside. 3/4, 125-4. Inside third is press time. And then Lincoln Boulevard. Sunseeker is out 3 wide. And then it is Reggie's Game and World for Two. And they turn from Gambling Addiction. Press time looking to press into the passing lane. Gambling Addiction and press time. Gambling Addiction marches on. Press time was second. Kodiak Sealster third. And then fourth was Sunseeker. Mile of 1:55-2. And, well, you had the top 3 pegged correctly. Gambling Addiction and the next couple. Gambling Addiction was outstanding, Rob.
Yeah, he really was. Another nice effort. Now 3 in a row for Gambling Addiction, and like I said, a horse that just seems to be coming into his own now. And and racing with a lot more confidence. Anthony Hahn was looking around late there and did get some urging tonight, but still did it relatively easy. And really the top three that I selected, I thought would be, coming from the pace perspective, I thought that press time would likely push out, maybe sit either 1-3 or 3-1, and then Gambling Addiction would come at them. Didn't expect it to come at them that early, but the way it worked out was actually perfect because that was the lineup, and that's the way they finished.
Well, also a very confident move by Anthony Hahn to step out right away. He knew that he wanted his horse on top. He thought he had the best horse, and obviously he was correct.
Definitely, yeah. And when you got the best horse, I mean, you don't want to get in any trouble, right? So you want to try to get to the front as soon as you can. And the fractions were honest enough, 27-1, 56-2, 125-4, and he closed out his mile pretty well. And I think that this is one that we're just gonna maybe see keep on moving forward. Now winning three in a row.
Sunseeker was the one that we didn't talk about, and Sunseeker is actually one that showed form coming in. We just disregarded those miles, but Sunseeker at 20-1 might have made a little bit more of a believer.
Yeah, probably an overlay at that price too, and I wish I had him in my selections because that's gonna certainly add some value to the super. The Cole try at 5-3-1, but that super is where it's gonna actually probably pay a lot better with Sunseeker landing fourth at 20-1.
Back in front of us, number 5, Gambling Addiction, a 4-year-old classic card shark bay gelding, owned by Rebecca Williamson, trained by Jeffrey Williamson. Anthony Hahn, the winning driver. Third win in a row for Gambling Addiction, third this year, and lifetime Gambling Addiction. 155-2. That's a new career mark. Eighth race payouts, 5 Gambling Addiction, 340 to 8260. 3 press time, 563.91. Kodiak Sealster, 320. $2 exactor, 21.30. Dollar Tribe, 29.50. The Dollar Super, 110.20. Eighth race, order of finish from the top. 382-41675. That's 382-41675.
Well, time flies when you're having fun. We've already reached race 9. Just 2 races left on the card. It's our last multi-leg wager of the night, the late double. And we've got $7,000 claiming Pacers on tap for you in this 9th race. And I went to number 6, Rockin' Wizard. Right now, 2-1 on the board from the 8-1 morning line. I thought this 11-year-old veteran was one that might be worth a play last time. Got hammered down, though, to 2-1 on that occasion as well. Had post 7, got away 7th, and closed up really well late and actually was running up and behind horses on the inside. Didn't really have a clear path anywhere and just finished up strongly. And I thought it was a pretty good effort for one that had not raced since November the 23rd. And, is one that you've got to keep an eye on now with 36 lifetime wins and over $550,000 in the bank. This classy veteran will start from post 5 now with the scratch number 5, Our Thinking Monster. A better starting spot than last time. I think one that merits big time respect in here, finishing, only 2 lengths behind his rivals after, being way out of it in his latest. Number 2, Jet Set Charmer, right now 7-1 on the board. This is one that we've kind of looked at and said, hey, definitely needs to have the front end, be the early speed to have a chance. Last time went first over and, was stuck out there a long way before finishing 4th, beaten 2 lengths on the end of it. But raced well on the engine 2 starts back to be a winner from the pole position, and raced well also from the inside post here on July the 23rd to finish second. So post two, lots of speed. I think Jet Set Charmer is one you've got to use underneath. And right now, the price of 6-1 looks like the value on the board. In for third, number 3, Key Topic. This one finished second, beating only half a length last time after getting a favorable trip in the 2-hole, and I think might be bound for a similar trip tonight. Should get away well from post 3. Maybe stay on the pylons and attack them late. Might be able to get a piece of it. 6-1 on the board as well. But if I had to take 6-1 in a horse right now, it'd probably be the 2 Jet Set Charmer over the 3 Key Topic. And then Mystic Messenger. You can't take anything away from this one. Did get the job done last time from post 2. Went to the front, kept on going. One that had been camera shy this season before that was 0 for 6, but hit the board frequently. But now it hit the board in 4 of 7 on the season, getting that win last time. And when you've got to consider in here, 5-2 on the board, I just think that this race might shape up a little differently. And he's got post 4 versus post 2. It's actually the worst post he's drawn in 5 starts now. He's always drawn post 2, post 3, post 2. Now he's got post 4 with speed inside of him. So I'm interested to see what kind of trip he gets in here. If he gets taxed, early on, and he has to get used to, go forward or get away well, I'm not sure that's going to help his chances. But I'm going to stick with number 6, Rockin' Wizard, 9-5 on the board right now. Hopefully that price will float up a little bit come post time, but I'm willing to, go in on this one, this classy veteran who's got 36 lifetime wins. We'll come back and talk about this claiming event with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the ninth on parade. One, top of the morning, Travis Henry for Rachel Onema. Number 2 is Jet Set Charmer, Colin Kelly for Vern Cochran. Number 3 is Key Topic, Pat Houdon for Gary King-Shotting for Sandra Watson. 4 is Mystic Messenger, Nick Stewart for Mike Sumner. 5 is Scratch 6 is Rockin' Wizard, Brent McDonough for Taylor Fritz. And number 7 is Durham Town, J.R. Plot for Don Graham. Number 8 is Bunkhouse Brawl, Natasha Day for Gerald Weir. And 9 is Bad Boys Roxy, George Ketros for John Braid. A field of 8 for the ninth race. Let's get a look at this field to start the late daily double. And right now the favorite is number 6, Rockin' Wizard. And Rob, I think it's an oversight on my part that I didn't use Rockin' Wizard higher because, probably needed that last start and actually did a nice job of closing. And Rockin' Wizard also benefits with the scratch. We'll be leaving out a post position 5. A lot of back class. Rockin' Wizard could be large here, 2-1.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Second start back, sometimes older horses like him at age 11 might even need more than that. But I like the way he finished his mile last time. He did come home in 30-1, but he was kind of hampered by horses in front of him. And I think he had a lot more momentum coming into the stretch. He kind of had to take a hold of him coming to the wire, Brett McDonald, because I thought he was coming on pretty well. And, the qualifier before that looked pretty good. And finishing second to another veteran in Grande Sealster. So I think that Rockin' Wizard is certainly worth that 2-1 right now. Hopefully he doesn't dip much lower than that, though.
The horse that we both have picked for second, number 2, Jet Set Charmer, very well could win this race because Jet Set Charmer, I think, is going to be the pace setter. And this time from post position 2, I think Colin Kelly is going to be pointing this one. Do you see this one going to the front?
I think so too. I mean, that's the way that Jet Set Charmer's effective, right? Goes to the front and usually does his best work there. I think you can't waste that inside post position, and I think they'll be forwardly placed. You got Colin Kelly in the bike; he loves going to the front, and I think that Jet Set Charmer, 3-1, is still the value on the board. I thought this one would take a lot more support, just because when you look down at the lines there, when he goes forward, he wins or he's second, and he does that when he's got a good post, which he has tonight.
Well, also with one top of the morning, has gate speed and the inside, but coming in off of a break might just be a little more conservative, leaving enough that Jet Set Charmer goes to the front, but also probably can outleave top of the morning anyway at this point. There's a look at number 3, Key Topic. And that last race was a lot better than the previous four. Got a pocket trip and probably is going to be going just to the outside of Jet Set Charmer driving out. Might be able to be a trip horse. Key Topic and Pat Hudon.
Yeah, 11-1 now. The price is getting better on this one, so I think one you need to consider underneath. Anyways, earlier when Jet Set Charmer Key Top with the same price, okay, I was okay. Well, you got to look at Jet Set Charmer as the better one for sure from a value perspective. But now at 11-1 Key Topic, raced well last time. I mean, what did he do wrong? He's had a good trip and almost beat Mystic Messenger. Getting beat by half a length. 11-1 on the board right now versus 2-1 a Mystic Messenger. To me, that discrepancy doesn't make sense.
Certainly the recent form on Mystic Messenger is good. Mystic Messenger is the question mark will be how the trip works out. Jet Set Charmer fires early. I'm kind of hoping that maybe Mystic Messenger could find a way to squeeze into the pocket, especially if Jet Set Charmer left hard enough that there was a bit of a hole. But that might be wishful thinking. Mystic Messenger certainly shows the recent form, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And that could work out. I think Key Top is going to fire as well, which might, step in the way of that idea. But I do think Mystic Messenger could step around just at Charmer, maybe a give and go scenario. That could certainly happen. Mystic Charmer last time, it kind of got a lot of things his own way. He did leave out well, from post 2 to 27 and 2, but then the rest of the mile, he kind of got things his own way. I'm not sure that's going to happen tonight, and I think he is an underlay right now at 2-1.
And there's one top of the morning one that, looking for a 40th career win, and oftentimes at least comes up with a solid effort. That last one made a break, and top of the morning, 9-1 on the board on the inside. But it should be an interesting dash. Rob has number 6, Rockin' Wizard, at 5-2. I have 4 Mystic Messenger, the favorite at 2-1. I don't like the price, though, as the favorite. Taking up positions, it'll be top of the morning, Jet Set Charmer, Key Topic on the inside. In the center, Mystic Messenger and Rockin' Wizard. And to the outside, Durham Town, Bunkhouse Brawl. And the second tier, Bad Boy Sproxy. Field of 8, ninth dash on a Friday night at the river. Here they come. Field for the ninth race is in position. They're at the start, and they're off. Jet Set Charmer, Mystic Messenger, top of the morning down to the inside, and then it is a Key Topic, and to the outside, Durham Town, and they work their way into the backstretch. Jet Set Charmer, Mystic Messenger was able to squeeze into the pocket in front of top of the morning. Then Durham Town's caught on the outside. Key Topic's down to the inside. Bad Boy Sproxy, Rockin' Wizard, and Bunkhouse Brawl. Jet Set Charmer's got the lead. Mystic Messenger is right there carrying the mail from second. Top of the morning's on the inside and racing third. Then Durham Town, Key Topic fifth, Bad Boy Sproxy, Rockin' Wizard, and then Bunkhouse Brawl, Jet Set Charmer, 28-2. A reasonable opening quarter. Mystic Messenger is in the pocket. Durham Town's to the outside as they come off the turn, and top of the morning down to the inside. Jet Set Charmer, Mystic Messenger, Durham Town first up, inside fourth, top of the morning, and Rockin' Wizard is advancing second over now is fourth. Fifth to the inside is top of the morning, and then it is back to Bunkhouse Brawl and Key Topic, and then trailing the field is Bad Boy Sproxy. 59 seconds flat is the halftime. As they work into the back stretch, Jet Set Charmer, Durham Town to the outside. Mystic Messenger bravening up in the pocket and is right up close on the back of Jet Set Charmer. And now there goes Rockin' Wizard to rock out 3 wide, but it is Jet Set Charmer and Durham Town. Mystic Messenger is still there on the back of Jet Set Charmer. Rockin' Wizard keeps coming forward. Top of the morning, center of the track, down to the inside is Key Topic. And then on his bunkhouse brawl and Bad Boy Sproxy. 3/4, 128 and 3. It is Jet Set Charmer, but might have to deal with Mystic Messenger, who's been riding along on the inside. They turn on down the lane. Jet Set Charmer, Mystic Messenger. Jet Set Charmer, Mystic Messenger. Trying to close. Jet Set Charmer, though, is able to get home and win it by a head. Mystic Messenger in third is between Durham Town and Bad Boy Sproxy. 158 and 2. Jet Set Charmer. The fractions were just right. 59 to the half, enough to make sure that Colin Kelly had enough left in the tank, and he did.
Yeah, and Gary, I got to give you some credit on that one. You're Mr. Trip handicapper there. That was you said you wanted to see Mystic Messenger leave out, squeeze into the pocket. That's what he did. He squeezed into that pocket and got a perfect trip, but was not able to get the best of Jet Set Charmer, who we both kept saying is going to be the speed in here. And when you look at his lines, when he goes to the front, he's a completely different horse. And I guess everyone else agreed because they bet this one down to favorite at 8-5 just before the start of the race. Mystic Messenger running second as co-second choice at 5-2, but Jet Set Charmer was the one that I was worried about. Had him pegged for second. Rockin' Wizard just couldn't fire off that second over trip. Maybe needs another start or two, but in any event, nice drive there by Colin Kelly to get the job done.
And certainly Mystic Messenger did have some late charge, finished beaten a neck, but it was the story of Jet Set Charmer getting the job done.
Definitely, yeah. It was a nice effort from this one, and we look back to the form and you see like last time first over a long way, not the trip this one wants any part of, but give him the lead and he's a different animal. Durham Town ended up getting third at 30-1, and how about Bad Boy Sproxy at 50-1? So you get two favorites on top, but the Try and Super are both going to pay great.
Yeah, if you happen to be liking some 2-4, 2-4 all types of combinations, you were sitting pretty. There is, back in front of us, number 2, Jet Set Charmer, 9-year-old Jeremy's Jet Brown gelding, only trained by Vern Cochran. Colin Kelly, the winning driver. Third win for Jet Set Charmer, 18th lifetime, mile of 158 and 2. Ninth race of payouts to Jet Set Charmer, $5.20 to $42.60. For Mystic Messenger, $3 to $70. And 7 Durham Town, $10.20. $2 exactor, $14.40. Dollar Try, $88.55. Dollar Super, $809.10. Would John Farrington please report to the paddock? John Farrington, that is John Farrington, please report to the paddock. Ninth race order finish from the top. 715 2 scratch 6 384. That's 715 2 scratch 6 384.
All right, folks. Well, it's that time for the nightcap and our carryover in our super high five, or pentafecta, as Gary likes to call it. Carryover of nearly $3,300, and new money right now stands at around $4,800. So it's going to be a big pool here in the last dash of the evening. Might as well start off your weekend right with a big score. Start marking out your tickets. We've got horses and geldings, non-winners of 2,000, last three. And, and here, I'll be honest, it took me a long time before I could settle on my top five. I went number 6, Easton Beach, getting out of the preferred ranks and, upper condition class, even racing the Gail Murray Invitational at Hanover. This one does have speed, can't draw a post, though. Post 6, he's had post 6 in 4 of his last 6, post 5 the other one. Now, post 6 again tonight, but who knows? I think that George Kitros can get this one off the gate, loaded with speed when he is able to use it. Easton Beach, I think, might be able to get out well. 9-2 on the board right now. I like that price. Facing easier tonight, this might be a big opportunity for him to get back into the win column. Number 9, Viper. Last time I went to this one on top, kind of a, I would say a bit of a disappointing effort. Did get hung on the outside for quite a bit before finishing 4th. Got beat by a closer on that occasion. Might be better a second start. Third start now for Tisha Symes. Second start here at Grand River. But I don't know. Trailing post now. Not sure how the trip's going to work out. 9-2 on the board. The price is better than last time. Definitely what I'm using on my ticket. Got the horse slotted in the second spot right now. Number 4, Ali. This one might be a speed candidate in here. 6-1 on the board. It's really questionable who's going to the front here. Ali might be one of them. Number 5, Better Be Gouda, I think, is another one you have to consider for a piece. 5-2 on the board in that one. And number 7, Art of Fire, a winner in that start that is not listed in the program, and one you have to consider, and already entered in to make his third start in 7 days. 7-2 on that one. The horses are moving on onto the track, though, but we'll come right back and talk about it more with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for race number 10 on parade 1. Scratch 2, music to my gears. Pat Wood on for Gary Kingshot. And number 3, come on and get some Ronda Rush for Brenda Duncan and David Duncan. Number 4 is Ali, Travis Henry for Anita Willett and Luke Willett. And 5, Better Be Gouda, J.R. Plot for Blake McIntosh and Leanne Murphy. And number 6, Easton Beach, George Ketros for Mary Ketros. Number 7 is Art of Fire, Brett McDonough for Terry Hill Lance. Number 8 is Weatherly, J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Murray Ferguson Jr. And number 9 is Viper, Colin Kelly for Tisha Symes and Michael Goldberg. Field of 8, 10th race, the high five carryover, almost $3,300. And Right away, we'll get a look at Easton Beach, your top one. Rob, the form in the last couple, not great, but drops down. A big earner the last couple seasons. Probably fits well here. The question will be, how does Easton Beach get the job done from post position? Now it'll be 5, 7-2 on the board.
Yeah, post five now, and I think this horse has enough speed that he might be able to ramble out of there. I'm not sure how much speed is actually inside of him, to be perfectly honest, Gary. And I think that it might be able to ambush the field. Maybe that's what I'm hoping, anyways. Right now we've got close to $6,000 in new money in the high five wager pouring in, and I'll be honest, this looks like a very contentious race. So I think it doesn't matter what happens, the payout's going to be decent.
Number 9, Viper, is the one that I went to on top. And I expect number 2, Music to My Gears, to provide the speed. You saw this one July the 30th here, 26-4 opening quarter from the trailer post, and now gets a spot on the gate. And with the one out, then that effectively, Music to My Gears is like the one, and Viper probably going to follow. I think Viper can race well here. The third star for Tisha Symes. I wasn't quite as disappointed last time out because it was a 54 and 2 mile. It was a pretty even effort from Viper. I expect to build off of that one here and maybe follow out Music to My Gears.
Yeah, and I've got him slotted in the second spot. Looks great on the track right now, by the way. I think he looks really good on the track. So we might see, even a better effort this time from Viper. 3-1 on the board. I think this one, merits respect. That's why I put him in the second spot. I personally, I'm not sure how the trip's going to work out. If Music to My Gears fires out, that's obviously going to help his cause tremendously. And I think Colin Kelly will have him right on that one's helmet to get away well.
There's for Ali, Travis Henry for Anita Willette. Anita's barn has done well on the year. And Ali is one that does have some gate speed. Fired from post 8 at Georgian Downs last race. Tailed a little bit in the late going, but Ali is one that could be a factor from post position 3 now, 7-2.
Yeah, if Ali can find that form that he had towards the beginning of the summer here at Grand River, I think he'd be a big-time factor in here. I put him in the third spot, hoping that might happen. The last few, though, have been underwhelming, no question about that. But decent post to work from tonight, and might be able to get away well. And if he does, then I think it only improves his chances.
There's 5, Better Be Gouda. Better Be Gouda was a good one last year. In fact, a win here in 53 and 1, and one that has a pretty speedy career best of 51 and 2, taken at Tioga. Better Be Gouda is one that maybe could be better here. 9-2 is getting a lot of action. J.R. Plott's probably going to be aggressive with this one.
Yeah, taking a lot of support right now at 9-2. I know it was 5-2 in the morning line, and you look back at some of those efforts recently, and again though against some decent horses. Though Let's Get Pickles been racing great at Mohawk Park, and Ideal Perception blew the field away here and just won his elimination for the Gold Cup and Saucer and PEI. So I think that Better Be Good is one that you've got to look at in the underneath positions. I've got him slotted fourth. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow outperformed that projection.
Art of Fire is coming in off of a win. Problem was that was got a pocket trip and then was able to grab the lead from post 2. But you see this one also closing. Art of Fire is not one to dismiss, and you get 16-1.
16-1 is pretty crazy on this one now, to be honest. I put the horse in the fifth spot. He opened off at like 6-5, so that price has floated up, and he's already he's got to be confident right now. He's got the most recent win of anyone in the field, winning just on August the 17th at Georgia, and he's already back into Go Georgia on August 24th. He's going to have 3 starts in 7 days, so Art of Fire isn't one to leave off your ticket.
And there's 2, Music to My Gears. I do expect this one to be leaving. It'll be interesting to see if that's the case. 10-1 on the board. I think you're right. It's a pretty wide open dash right now. 9, Viper is the 3-2 favorite, but you have Easton Beach at a nice little 5-1, Rob. Field for the 10th race. It is a field of 8, taking up positions on the inside. Music to My Gears and Come On and Get Some. In the center, it is Ali, Better Be Gouda, Easton Beach to the outside, Art of Fire and Weatherly. And the second tier, Viper. It's a field of 8 for the 10th race. There at the start of the rough, and Music to My Gears is going to gun with Ali, and then Better Be Gouda, and Come On and Get Some. Viper along to the inside, and now it is Music to My Gears who's got the lead, and Ali is racing second, and then Better Be Gouda, and Viper is on the inside racing fourth, and now it's going to be Ali who's come on to get the lead. Ali is going to come on and grab the front. Better Be Gouda is racing second. Music to My Gears on the inside, and then to the outside is Art of Fire. And then fifth is Viper as they hustle by three quarters, and Viper is going to pop out right now and move up, and here comes Art of Fire on the move on the outside. 27-3, the opening quarter, and it is Better Be Good and JR Plant who's got the front, and then on the outside Art of Fire. Ollie is racing third as the field comes off the turn. Then Music to My Gears, and working on the outside is Viper as they race their way on towards us. Then it is back to Easton Beach, who is third from last, and then Come On and Get Someone on the inside. Weatherly, they work their way past a lively half of 55-4, and Better Be Gouda. Art of Fire on the outside. Racing third is Ali. Into the backstretch they go. Music to My Gears is now popped to the outside. Then it is Weatherly, and Viper getting some urging by Colin Kelly to move on. And then it is back to Easton Beach, and Come On and Get Some. And they hustle their way on towards three quarters. Better Be Gouda is the one that is they have to be better than right now. And Easton Beach is closing hard now. Easton Beach was back early, but now is forged onto the scene and is racing a second and closing on Better Be Good, who's done all the work early. Music to My Gears, and then Viper, three quarters, 125. And it is Better Be Good with Easton Beach bearing down. And then it is Music to My Gears and Viper on down the stretch ride. And as they come on down the lane, Better Be Good. Better Be Good was better than all of them. Easton Beach was second. Then Music to My Gears and Viper, and then it was Weatherly finishing fifth. 154-4. Better Be Gouda. Well, was very Gouda, and none were better. 54-4. Mile JR Plant had this one fired up early, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the drive by Jared Plant, too. He knows where he wants to be on the front. And you mentioned, Gary, you thought that he handled this one aggressively tonight, and he did. And, obviously was able to hold off Easton Beach. Not the way I drew it up for Easton Beach, but the result looked like it might be okay in the end. Good enough to finish second, though, tonight in the runner-up spot. Nice effort from that gelding. Just couldn't get to the front-stepping Better Be Gouda.
Yeah, and it's not like they didn't go enough up front, 55-4. When I saw Easton Beach rolling by three quarters, I thought he was going to track down Better Be Gouda, because Better Be Gouda had done a lot of work to that point.
I did too, and I was pretty excited, that he was making that big move, and it was a solid effort from Easton Beach, no question about it. Just couldn't get there, and Music to My Gears, one of the ones that you thought might be able to push out of there, ended up finishing third. And Viper, a decent enough effort to finish fourth. Still looking for a better one from that one though.
He seemed a little inconsistent through the mile. At times, Viper was getting some serious urging by Colin Kelly, and then seemed to find a gear late. But not sure what to make of Viper's effort.
Yeah, look, he was in a great spot, to be honest. I thought he might fire at them, and then just kind of came up flat, but then came on again in the stretch. So I think your assessment's bang on.
And then number 8, Weatherly, was able to close from an outside post position to finish fifth, and was able to close last time out to finish third. So Weatherly at 11-1. It's a 5-6, 2-9-8. But back in front of us is the 10th race winner, 5, Better Be Gouda, a 5-year-old better than Shetter Bay gelding, owned by Leanne Murphy, trained by Blake McIntosh. JR Plant, the winning driver. Third win this year, 11th lifetime, Better Be Gouda. 154-4 to take the final dash. The 10th race payouts. Number 5, Better Be Gouda, 1040, 440, 250. 6, Easton Beach, 450, 350, and 2, Music to My Gears, 380. $2 exactor, $41, $40, try, $84. Double, $48.50. The dollar win for $117.60, and the dollar high five, numbers 56298, 1771.75. The 10th race order of finish from the top is a scratch 37812654. That's scratch 37812654. Well, fans, that does conclude the live harness racing program for this fine Friday evening. Note that our next live racing event is this coming Monday. Our first race will go to post at 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Gary Guy.
Good night, Robert. Team player.